because you got to hear the story Dawn just told us before everyone else got here. The shit that she's gone through today.
I'll go tag her.
No, she was here. She was here.
Oh.
And now she's dropped. And so I don't know if she lost her
right.
picture.
I thought somebody was missing. Yeah, Dawn.
Yeah,
Dawn,
she just dropped. I don't know.
My skin is very oily, so it's never fucking dry. So radiation is all I could say is why.
And it doesn't, see, this is the other thing too. So one of the pieces I've been looking at, and it's that the girl, Laura Wells is her name, and she's basically just putting out reports and shortening down something this guy from, his name is Mike from Planet Earth or something like that. And he goes on, I can't stand the show. I'm unfortunate, I literally can't, because he goes on that Pastor Paul Begley's show, and I can't, the religious, I tweak out on all the religious stuff and go, I can't listen, cannot, like my brain wants to explode. So so it's great. She does these little up-to-date notes. And one of the things that he's talked about apparently a lot for the last 6 months is when we have these kind of cosmic rays coming in and stuff like that, his hypothesis anyways, one of them is that it fucks with the moisture levels in the air as well. So you can have oily skin but still be extremely dehydrated. You see it a lot, and that actually what happens a lot with teenagers. When they go through teenagers, they start getting pimples, so they start using these really, really harsh cleansers on their skin, which takes all the moisture out of their skin. And they'll still have oily skin, but the skin underneath is completely dehydrated because the water's been removed. So that's one of the things I've been talking about for like, I don't know, I guess about a couple of weeks now, saying my skin is dry, and it doesn't matter. Like, I'm drinking massive quantities of water, and I mean, I look after my skin, I'm doing all the right things, but if I'm not putting lotion on, I'm literally putting my rose lotion on 3 times a day. And in the morning when I get up, it's just pure argan oil. Like, I just rub my whole face down with pure argan oil in the C60, and then I'm just putting lotion on all the same thing on my hands, because I'm kind of OCD. Like, anytime I get on anything on my hands, like if I'm cooking that, you have to wash your hands immediately. So if I'm cooking dinner, I'll wash my hands, I don't know, 10 times while I'm cooking dinner. And your hands are so brutally dry, and I'm literally getting up, and before I go to bed, I'm having to like just cover them in argan oil, just so that when I get up in the morning, they're not really, really, really dry. I don't know. Is that one of the other things that's...
I wouldn't be overdoing it. That's one thing I don't like to do. I've learned not to do is overdo anything. I tried to just not to overdo anything. I'm bad about that OCD stuff, like washing a dish too long. I used to be really bad about that. I've had to break I've had to really, what do you call it, self-discipline myself and stuff.
Well, I'm of the opinion you can never over-moisturize if you're using a decent moisturizer. That's just me. And that's only if you're using something that's natural like this. Yeah, I don't know. The symptoms of the stuff. So like I said, when I saw the graphs earlier today on the magnetosphere, I've never seen anything like that before. Never, ever in all those years of watching it have I ever seen anything like that before. It freaked me the hell out. And like, I called Nick over and said, it was like, get over here and look at this fucking graph. And he was just like, what the fuck? I don't know. And then, like I said, this thing that just before we started recording, someone put that post in about the person starting to hallucinate for no reason. They went to the doctors and they checked his urine and his blood for drugs, and there was nothing there because he was sure someone had slipped him something. You're like, like drop drugs, and that's what the whole post was about. Oh, be careful, someone's drugging us with something. No, but one of the, like I said, in one of the videos I watched yesterday, they were talking about the effects of geomagnetic disturbances that are this extreme, is that it can literally cause hallucinations. Like, certain people, their brains will literally start tweaking out, and you'll have road rage as a symptom, which we know, but like massive rages, mood swings, uncontrollable hallucinations, etc. And I'm like, that's why I put the post up on my wall and in on Buckers, asking people if they've had any hallucinations or other types of occurrences, and you want to see the posts on my wall, like the shit people's talking about that they've seen, that they've experienced in the last couple of weeks. It's insane. It's completely. I mean, what we would say is insane if we didn't go, oh wait, there's a reason for this. There's definitely a reason for this.
I wonder if that's why I've been crying a lot. Not today, but the 2 days prior, it seemed like everything would set me off with tears. Not hysterics, just very weepy.
And that was Quinlan last night. Quinlan was just all weepy all night, just weepy. And she was looking at me. She's got tears in her eyes. She's going, I have no idea why I'm crying.
Exactly.
I have no idea why. Like literally, she said, she came to me today and was like, I don't know what the fuck happened last night, but I just was. It was like my tears were just flowing, and there was nothing. I wasn't sad. I wasn't angry. I wasn't upset. It was just like.
There's got to be something to that. I mean, people are like, some of us are like just out of like, whoa, unexpected. There's something going on, and maybe we're not conscious of it. Maybe we're just not conscious of it.
Well, Sunday, Monday, I said that. That's when I put up the Grumpy Old Ladies Club image, right? Because I was so grumpy. And not grumpy, like I wasn't in a bad mood. It wasn't like you have a shit day and you're just in a really grumpy bad mood. It wasn't anything like that. It was just, I was so, every little thing, I couldn't control my responses. It was just like, you're snapping, you're irritated, like so instantly irritated. And every little thing, the kids would start yelling, I'd be like, just stop yelling, you're all yelling, stop yelling. And you can't, it's like I couldn't even fucking control it. It was just like this, wow, what the hell?
That's what was bothering me. If I don't feel like I have control of something like is it out west, like that supposed article about people, like we talked about, it was you mentioned it, someone mentioned it on Facebook or on Zoom, it's just people, someone, like drop something in you Facebook about it, like people losing their shit. Yeah, I think you even mentioned it, Dee. Like people losing their shit and it's like they didn't know what to do and like going to mental hospitals and admitting themselves in, thinking they're going crazy.
Thinking they're losing. Well, this is what I said. So the post that was put in there talking about the guy and the hallucinations, and the doctor said to him, "You're not the first person." So the doctors are obviously notating that people are coming in hallucinating, losing it, like literally losing it. And of course, they test them for drugs because they, okay, do we have someone who's serial stalker who's going around dropping fucking hallucinogenics in people's drinks or something? But the guy hadn't been at a bar, and there was nothing in his blood or his urine. So then we have to go outside, like say, okay, so it's not like all of a sudden you got a mass of people who are suddenly decided to drop expensive drugs in strangers' drinks for no apparent reason. What are the other causes? What's making this happen, right?
All the stuff that, like you just mentioned, what are the other causes? It's, the unseen causes, I
just realized I didn't put this in the Unfuckers group, so I'm just going to drop them a link too.
Hey, Danny, did you see I tagged you on Dan's reply on that post? He had said that he had gotten the same exact post, but it was from a different location. So not sure that might be fake, or I don't know.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Like I said, so here's the whole thing though. Then you go out and, like you say, the post that I put out, and I said, okay, has anyone else had these symptoms? And there's a shit ton of people responding, I'm really embarrassed to say this, but yeah, I've had freakish fucking shit happen to me. You go read the comments on my wall.
Oh yeah, no,
Okay, so that's when you have to say, yeah, it could be fake. You're absolutely right. We see a lot of this kind of fake bullshit go by all the time. Anyway, I'm scrolling through here. It's up to 125 comments now.
Wow.
God damn.
Okay. 125 comments, and it's only been up for 8 hours.
Does anybody know if there is a link to that? I posted a meme, came across, it's a small group, and it had Hillary Clinton and the drug that they used in MK Ultra.
Yeah, adrenochrome. Yeah. But you know what? Like, I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole at this point.
No, that's just what I no research preliminary. I didn't find anything. But what is
But
odd about it is the symptoms. So could that be, back in 2016 that they were putting drugs in the chemtrails?
yeah, but here's the thing. Okay, so here's the thing. So we go and we look at the logical, and you put pieces on the table, and you say, okay, if it's drugs in the chemtrails, why is it not affecting more people? If it's drugs in the water, why is it not affecting more people? Now, yes, some people have certain sensitivities to drugs. We were joking about this a couple of shows ago, and I was talking about my friend fucking absolutely hallucinates if she takes Benadryl. Child Benadryl even makes her hallucinate, right? Some people have got sensitivities. Why would people put extremely expensive drugs in things like that? Like, we're talking extremely expensive. We're not talking about, baby aspirin.
For experimentation. Now, I am not going to discount that at all because Facebook is the biggest fucking social experiment ever. So yeah, they do love to experiment.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Or if you look at logically everything else that we're seeing, for example, that gets posted into the room a day after we know that we've had a massive geomagnetic event on the planet that was over 2 days. Okay, like this is the whole thing. I'm not going to go jumping through the fact they did blood tests, they did urine tests, and it came up nothing for drugs. Now, okay, maybe they didn't test for that specific drug, but again, I come down to, why would somebody do that? Why? Or is it just that there's been a major fucking geological event on the planet and it's twigged people right out?
Yeah, I can see that too. I could.
Especially when you look at the amount of 125 people commenting back, going, a good portion of those people are commenting and saying, yeah, actually, I have had some very, very fucked up experiences over the last couple of days, over the last weeks. Our own Jane, if you guys may not remember this, and I hadn't put it together at the time, but all these events really started ramping up in October. And Jane, who's here in our podcast, she's not here tonight right now. You guys will remember she put a post in saying, I had a horrific thing happen to me. I was driving my car and all of a sudden I was fucking hallucinating and holy shit. And she had to pull over and she was petrified of what she went through. And we had a couple of fuckers then say, I've been there. I've done it. I know this has happened.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw it when she posted it. But yeah, we keep speculating though, and it's about fucking time to get some goddamn answers. And if we have to manifest that to force them, we need some fucking answers. But there again, if they don't even know, because did you see that post I posted about, or I tagged you in that too, about the 4-day forecast yesterday? Oh yeah, it was.
I don't get half my tags, hon. I haven't seen anything. Where'd you Indian fuckers?
Yeah, it was on one of your posts. But yeah, 4-day forecast. Looked at it yesterday. All sunny for the next 4 days. Beautiful. Almost getting up to 60 degrees. Okay, by the 4th day. So it just keeps increasing in temperature, right? So I wake up this morning to thick gray fucking clouds all over the sky, right? And then it was about 10-ish, maybe 10:30 a.m. Go out and the sun there had to have been a flare or something because seriously, it just spread the clouds. So the sun was shining, but like a half an hour later, it just enveloped again in these thick gray clouds, and it's fucking cold. And so, yeah, they don't even know because they forecast wonderful weather.
Oh, I mean, it's a fucking joke. And I'll tell you, we don't even go. We have a young guy here in Malta. He's actually in Gozo. He's in Malta now, doing university, and he's going through to be meteorological studies. And he started his own Facebook page because he started analyzing the weather himself, and he started putting out daily weather forecasts. And he's right on the money. This kid is like I said, he's in first now. He's just in first year of college, so he's like 19, 18. And it's to the point now he's just expanded his Facebook page to be like Gozo and Malta. And everyone laughs because it's like, if you need the weather, you go to him, because you'll sit there and you'll get like, the weather network will say this, his will say this, and we'll all go, yeah, it's going to be this way. Because he's accurate. I don't know why. I don't know. And even now, he's not 100% accurate, obviously, but he's way more accurate than any of these fucking mainstream fucking newscasts are. Like, they're just like ridiculous. They don't even bother even looking at them anymore.
So he's similar to Dutch Sense.
He's very mainstream, though.
Yeah,
He's very mainstream. He doesn't get into there's no woo-woo even whatsoever, or chemtrails, like nothing. He's just the weather. But he's a young kid who has taken an interest in it, and he's taught himself how to read the wind patterns, the high and the low pressure systems, to be able to figure out how things are going to move in his little area of the world, which is just Malta and Gozo. So he's got, like, he knows how the wind patterns go. He knows how the jet streams go. And so he's calling the weather. And he's mostly accurate.
You just made me think of something. This makes me think of biorelativity. Like I heard a guy say years ago on the show Coast to Coast AM, Sean David Morton. It made me think of something he said, biorelativity, how we can affect clouds, whatever. There was a thing called cloud busting for a long time.
Yep. Ann knows about that shit.
That's right, yeah. Oh, really,
Yeah,
Ann? Okay.
I was thinking about that for Ben, actually, Danny. You know, he was talking about his water drying up. Yeah, it's possible to make rain using a cloud busting machine. It's a form of, it's like a development of orgonite, really.
Well, my dad, when he was working in Dubai, the guy he worked with was always looking at new technologies, like always. And it was, like I said, they worked with a group out of Calgary, who had figured out how to naturally clean toxic sluice ponds from pulp and paper, from the oil industry, everything, all natural, like with no, like they could fucking go in, clean that water, and make it absolutely perfect again. So he had tons of meetings with like some top people in the world. And he met with a group of scientists, and I want to say, I think they were out of Switzerland. I'm pretty sure they were out of Switzerland, who could make it rain anywhere. And it didn't involve chemicals. It involved negative ions. And they would literally, they did a test out in the the desert outside in Dubai. And they set up the machinery, and they sent up like this negative ions, whatever it was that they did. There's no chemical blowback from it because there's no chemicals used. And they made it rain in a piece of the desert, and they told them exactly how much rain they could program. Like they could program it down to how long it would rain for, how heavy it would rain, within a square mile. That's how well it was programmed. Now, they were all on board, and that was just when the UAE, when the stock market fucking crashed. So it was like 2008. The whole fucking stock market just crashed, and all the projects my dad was working on came to a grinding halt instantaneously. The money just disappeared. But then we saw the stuff with Russia and China, and they were talking about ionization of the atmosphere. And I was like, Is that, now it might not be because I don't know enough about the project, but is that what they're doing? Are they using this same negative ion technology to put these negative ions up in the air to cause rain? Or I guess you could do the opposite and make to bust the clouds to break up rain. I don't know. But again, you try and fucking find the information. You try and study. You try and get any of the information out. It's impossible.
Yeah, they're not. They're definitely not going to give us any voluntary information unless it's it's like it's sort of like the dealer who's got the cards and the blackjack table. You get what you get.
And that's what Google algorithms are so fucking bad now. I mean, you can't search anything. I don't even mean like conspiracy stuff. Like you can't find jack shit on Google anymore. I look for stuff for my business, like packaging, bottles, cardboard boxes. You still can't find the information. Like it's impossible to find the information. It's fucking broken. And the problem is everyone's using the Google algorithm. So you have 1,000 different new search engines.
That's what I use, Opera.
DuckDuckGo or Ecosia or all of these ones, but they're all using Google algorithms. So like I've got Opera and I've got Brave for browsers, but they all use Chrome as their algorithm. So it doesn't matter which ones you use, you're still working with fucking totally broken technology that just doesn't work anymore.
That's my secondary choice, if you will. The Google Chrome. Yeah, after Opera.
Yeah.
Well, I have to have multiple browsers because I have multiple accounts on things. So like I can't have 2 Facebook accounts open on the same browser. You always have to log out of one, and that takes too long. So I always have Waterfox or Firefox.
Yeah, Firefox. Yeah.
For one set of accounts, and then the other accounts were all on Chrome. Or now I went to Brave, tried that, and then discovered they were using Chrome. And then I went to Opera because everyone said, "Oh, Opera's great," and it does. It's got some great stuff, but it uses Chrome. So you're still back at the same bloody mess.
Well, just watch because they actually dumbed down Google and this is only my own personal speculation, but just like Facebook has said that if we don't want to see ads, they're going to have to break off into 2 different branches, one that's paid and one that's free. Just watch. Google, our browsers are going to try and do that same shit.
What do you do? What do you say? I don't know.
You can't. It's just fucking greed
Technology
everywhere.
sucks. That's what I say. Yep. Technology fucking sucks at the moment.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we just said about technology sucking. I don't know how many of you have noticed it, but on Facebook, it's dragging so bad that the friends on your right side, I'll see the names, but whether you're online or not won't show up for like a minute. It happens on my end. It's lagging.
I had this morning when I fired up the Unfuckers group on Facebook, I saw the same 15 posts. That was it. And you just keep scrolling and it just would go back to the top. Like it wouldn't even bounce you back. It would just literally just keep repeating the same 15 posts. And in that, I go out, I close that window completely, open a new window, go into my wall, and then go back into Unfuckers. And sometimes that will kind of kick-start it again.
They've got a lot of people censoring Facebook right now.
Yeah.
It is huge. I just posted in Unfuckers, someone from BBC who works at BBC just gave the Yellow Vest movement a heads up that they have been informed. You'd have to read it because I'm not going to do it justice, but basically, globally, Yellow Vest is to be censored. They have already written articles that if it goes really bad, that they're going to blame it on the right wing, Russia.
Yep.
And this person went into depth, but is trying to spread it around because, and then guess what? Where I already got approved for the political ads, right? Jump through all their hoops. Guess what? Today, guess what they did? They said, your ads are no longer approved, and they want me to go through the same fucking process all over again.
Yeah, it's typical. It's typical, unfortunately. It's just typical. But yeah, I don't know. YouTube today, when I put up which video? Fuck, I put up 4 videos today. It was like insane. I was on YouTube all day. It was either the conspicuous views or the conspicuous news. It wouldn't load. And I saw, Linda, you had the same problem. You couldn't. It wouldn't play.
It wouldn't open for me. It took the 4th try. I finally got it to play.
I closed the thing down, opened a new one, tried to get it to play on the website, tried to get it. I couldn't, and I came back 10 minutes later, and finally it played. And I've been having problems like that continuously for the last 2 weeks. Like, just stupid. You get halfway through uploading a video and you get an error, and then you got to start all over again.
Well, what's crazy is, you know what? We've been saying and warning about this for years now. I mean, fucking years. Yep. And we are now seeing it. It is like in our face. I am sure YouTube is censoring as well.
Well, they are. It's not even a question. But here's the thing. Like, I don't mean to sound like a broken record talking about the electromagnetic stuff, but all the technology we're seeing is fucking failing. And
that is so true.
And websites, like things like ATM machines, and there's too many things that are going down now that before we could go, oh, Facebook's down, oh, are they doing a test? They're running a test. Oh, that's what it is. They're running a test to see what happens and response. Oh, Instagram's down. Oh, they're running a test. But then you go and you go, okay, wait a second. Now, like, shit is going down everywhere, and websites are just failing. My own website, I at least once or twice a week, I get people who go to try and place an order and like, Danny, I'm trying to place my order and I just can't. It won't go through. It goes to PayPal and then it just bounces back. And Dawn had her shipping invoice. It took her a month to be able to pay her fucking shipping invoice because every time she'd go to hit pay, the button would disappear. And I talked to PayPal and they're like, oh no, it's fine. Oh, everything's fine. No, everything's not fucking fine. Your system doesn't fucking work. But it's across the board, and it's like I've had people talking about health records. I've had people talking about payment systems for their electrical bills are all over the fucking place. I had a friend of mine in Australia send me a message saying it was her school records. Like she walked in to a university and went to go pull one of her school records. She needed a mark for something. And they're like, oh, you don't have a record here. She was like, dude, I've been going to this school for 2 fucking years. I'm not walking around wearing this sweatshirt that says, whatever university it was, for the good of my health. I've been here for 2 fucking years, and named off all of her professors. And finally, like the numpty she was talking to was like, okay, I'll go get a manager. And the manager comes out and goes, yeah, we're kind of having a problem with the computer system right now. The servers are kind of down, so we can't pull some of the records. And it's everywhere. And servers are, as you know, very highly temperamental when it comes to things like electrical and magnetic stuff.
Yeah. But, at the same time, Danny, it's never just one thing.
No, never.
And when shit happens, there's usually, it's like this chaos ball,
Yep.
So,
yep.
Yeah, I don't doubt that there's interference. That was, oh my God, Danny, that was crazy what you put out there today. Oh my God.
Never seen that before in all my fucking years. In all my fucking
years. It looked like
it
was giving birth. It really did. It reminded me of a fucking bug that was putting out eggs.
Big larva sac.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah. But it was the secondary lines too. Like that was the whole thing. At one point, the blast that you see that happened at around 12. just before 12 midnight UTC, you see the massive, huge ball, but you see then all the black and blue lines they just broke. So
Yeah.
those are specific frequencies of magnetics, and they just snapped, and they were like just like tendrils all over the place, like wildly trying to reconnect, and they just couldn't.
Did you see that patterning on the pattern on the very outside? Freaking looked like legs.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it was crazy. I've never seen anything like it, and yet all of the main information that we have shows us there was no geomagnetic storm. There was nothing. There was absolutely nothing. There wasn't even a ripple. There was no increase in solar wind stream, or the slight increase in solar wind streams was nowhere near enough to have caused what we saw. Do you know what I'm saying? That's kind of like the kind of shit that we see all the time. And
Oh, hell no.
places like
This was
Solarham,
huge.
no announcement. They didn't say anything. Solarham, all the big websites that you would go to, like space.com, Solarham, that would tell you if there was any kind of an event. Nothing. Nothing.
This is like a galaxy type big. It's not. There's no fucking way. I mean, maybe Saturn, maybe could pull off something like that. Danny, it was so fucking huge.
Yep.
I mean, we see this little thing on the screen and we're like, oh yeah. Can you imagine in proportion how enormous that had to be?
And that's what I'm saying. And then you get, like I say, the reports that people are talking about. And I've had things like everyone was out of sorts Monday and Tuesday. Everyone was out of sorts. Everyone was just kind of weird, feeling like, and we talked about it. I mean, like I said, that's why I started my grumpy old lady post. Like everyone wants to join the grumpy old lady club, because everyone was talking about how these feelings and then people talking about what they're seeing. Like how many people are talking about what they're seeing out of the corner of their eye? The shadows and the shapes and the colors and fucking all this kind of shit. Like there had to have been, between my wall and Unfuckers, there had to have been 30 or 40 people who all reported seeing these kinds of things out of the corner of their eye. So what the fuck is going on? Now, okay, maybe it's a hallucination, but at the same time, I gotta look at the whole thing of, like, we keep talking about, like, two universes touching, and you said it yourself, like that was so big, it was as if, like the birth of a galaxy, the birth of a something or other. And then you have people, and they're all seeing this kind of stuff. Well, I don't know. Dawn isn't here. Dawn is here, but she's not here because she's running around doing stuff. Dawn, I hope you don't mind. I am going to share what you said. Dawn had an experience this morning that's just mind-blowing, where she gets notified that this police have gone to somewhere local in her neighborhood, and it's the exact same thing that happened last year. Exact same thing, exact same day, exact same thing happened. And they basically, the police were called to, like, that a police officer was down or something, and they get there and there's nothing going on. There's absolutely nothing there. And she goes and she says, what did she say? Basically, it's because, like, they're playing you, or you've been had, or it was, someone's fucking with you type thing. And as the words come out of her mouth, she remembers that those are the exact same words that she said exactly a year ago.
Yep. Oh my God.
And she's just like, holy shit. Then she goes to take her dad's pets to the vet, to the groomers. It's the same groomer she's been using for years. She's taken them there at least 4 or 5 times. And the groomer's never seen them before, has no record of them ever being there, and doesn't even recognize the pets. And she's like, I bring them here. This is one of her friends that she always deals with. It. She's just like, what fucking place am I in? Like, and on top of the stories of what she went through, what she talked about Wednesday night, of like some kind of bizarre, and how many people, when you look at the comments on my post, were talking about things like having shit just randomly fucking, like, Blair, you and your wallet, right? How many people were like, someone posted, I can't remember who it was, said she lost her favorite sweater. She woke up this morning, it was in between her and her husband's pillow on her bed. She's like, I fluff my pillows and make my bed. It was not there last night when I went to bed, but I woke up this morning and there's my favorite sweater. in between our two pillows.
Well, look how frequently the timeline, or I say timeline, and it's not. It's kind of like more dimensional. It's this. It's like this vortex, and past, present, and future. It's not separated anymore. It's here. It's like right fucking here. And so at any fractal, you could be in this past, future. I mean, it's just like this.
Don't know.
And I tell you, when I woke up and went outside after I had that thing happen to me early this morning that I messaged you about, and I went outside and I could feel that it was so. It was like a fuck. There's no words. It's not a fucking swirl, or it's not a. I guess it would be more like a fog, because it's like everywhere. It was. I was standing there, Danny, fucking strange as hell, and I could have been at any point in any time. Any. I
Yep.
could feel it. That's how it was just around. So
Like
yeah,
I said,
I
my
just
kids.
want to know how to use it. You know?
How can we use this to our fucking advantage?
He
Can
does.
someone go back and find the Super Bowl lottery numbers this time last year, so we'll play them again this year, so we can buy on Fucker Island?
Yeah. Oh man, that's actually a pretty good idea. Dawn needs to do that since she's having the deja vu.
Yep. Tell Dawn, if you're listening, you need to go find the Powerball numbers for next week or this week's draw, and play those numbers. Sorry, Ann, what would you say?
What part of the Earth was sun facing when that wave hit? Was that?
Well, it hit at UTC. There was a few in our late afternoon.
So it was
You're pretty much UTC. You're pretty much UTC right now. So the first ones hit were around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. There was a good sized one. 5 o'clock in the afternoon, there was a good sized one. The next one came at around 8, a little after 8. The first big one was at 11. So if you figure 11, so it would have been facing like Australia, like turning into Australia there.
Okay. I'm just wondering if there was more of an effect where it hit first.
That's a good question. Nick made a really interesting comment today about dark side.
We'd be on the dark side.
We would have been on the dark side, right? So when these things come in, if you imagine the Earth is here, so let's say it came in here and we saw the wave, that wave fucking come in. It was unbelievable. I wish I could have taken it back into, because it's in 7-minute increments, and you can't change that. It's always in 7-minute increments. I wish I could have gone back by minute. It came in and it bows, right? But it's kind of like a boat going through the water. As the boat cuts through the water, the real disturbance isn't at the front of the boat.
Okay.
The real disturbance is in the wake of what leaves behind. Like the wake comes out of the back of the boat and goes, right? That's what it looks more like. So yeah, that's an interesting concept. If you think about it, would have hit here, Australia, that area, but the wake of it curled around the back of the Earth. So really, I would almost say that the greater magnitude, for lack of a better word, would have probably been felt on the dark side, on the back side of that. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, there were certainly lots of people saying that they couldn't sleep. 3 and 4 a.m.
I didn't sleep. I stayed up after we did the show. I hung up with you guys, and I knew I wasn't going to go to sleep. I knew, but I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go to bed. I went and had a nice warm shower, put a hot water bottle in my bed, and I'd done my laundry. I'd done all the linens in the house, and then we had rain. That wasn't supposed to happen. And so I had basically had like 1:30 in the morning. You go to your room and you're like, I gotta make my bed. Fuck. And I had no clean sheets, so you like grab a blanket and like put that down across the bed to kind of lay on, and made myself a nice little cocoon. I was all like, oh, this is gonna be lovely. Climbed to my warm bed with my hot water bottle and got my book, and I'm reading Genesis Antarctica, and I'm really in a good part, so I'm like really excited. Logan came in, and I got the little bed on the side on the floor, so I made sure he was all tucked in, and I was like, okay, dude, you just go to sleep, but mommy's gonna read for a while longer because I wasn't tired yet. And then I guess Kale came in around 2:30 in the morning. He climbed into bed with me, and I was just like, okay. Got him cuddled up, and then I was like, okay, you have. It's like you look at the tablet and going, it's 2:30 in the morning. I have to go to bed. And I laid there, and like I said, I had a whole light show going. At the moment I closed my eyes, I had a complete light show going on under my eyelids. There was first it was bright, vivid greens, and then it was like bright purple, and then it was like light pale electric blue, and my body was vibrating the whole bit. And then Kale had a stomachache, and he woke up, and I was up for maybe an hour in the middle of the night with him because he had a stomachache, and he just had gas pains, and no one slept. Nick didn't sleep. Quinlan and Kira were like, I don't know what time I finally went to sleep. It was like late. And that's would have been when the majority of that storm was literally hitting.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing, though. Okay, if it was hitting at 3 in the morning, I think it started at, hold on, I put the times down. Okay, so basically it went from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. in the morning. So there again, when we see these waves, or the human resident, is that our time? Would that be Central Standard Time as well?
No,
Exactly.
no.
So
No, so that would have been for you, for example, in Eastern. So the major one passed just around 4 a.m. UTC, which is 5 a.m. UTC my time, which would have been 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So basically the majority of that storm was hitting Eastern Standard Time from like 6 p.m. to like 11 p.m. But there's still the the physical aftershocks of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like as in when your body gets that scrambled, I don't find it even remotely surprising that no one could even fucking sleep or had these wild headaches, which is the other one. Nick woke up, he had a headache all night, he had a headache this morning, he had a headache all day. And he said today, like going out in public today was insane. Like people were so, wow.
oh my God, I went out today, and yeah, people are very edgy. I mean, very edgy.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I know.
I'm just going to say, if there is, like, if we think about the theory of that some people say that there is no time, then technically anybody could have been feeling it anytime.
Especially when it feels like everything's in flux right now. So like we said, like what it seems like almost like timelines are collapsing or merging or fractals and all this kind of shit. So if you can imagine if all that's going on too, and then you have something like this going on, I mean, who's to say how it stretches throughout? I don't know. I get to the point now where it's really, really funny because when I did the report on the Transpicuous News about that specific event, I sent it to Sarah Westall. And I said, you may want to post this on your Patreon for people to, as like a follow-up to what we talked about when we had the interview. She was like, oh, wow, I just watched it. Holy shit, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, oh, you got to let me know when you figure it out. I'm like, figure it out? You must be joking. I've been trying to figure this shit out for 10 years. We are no closer to figuring it out.
So we don't, the guys who would normally be trained to interpret this kind of data, would be working in the space weather, astrophysics kind of area.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we don't know any of these guys who might be.
The only one I want to try and get a hold of Ben Davidson. He's the guy. He's the guy who runs Suspicious Observers.
Oh yeah.
Because he's been talking about a lot of this kind of electric universe, pole flip. We kind of know that he's somewhat on the same page. Like he's looking at the similar symptoms, anyways, and tying them together.
And he hasn't put up anything about that, as far as I can see today.
Yeah, but he won't put it up. He may not put it up until tomorrow, and he doesn't really get into those graphs very often. Like he tends to look mostly at just the physical, like here's a geomagnetic storm happened, or there was a solar flare, etc. As I was saying, I'd like to get a hold of Thornhill, and that's the guy who runs the Thunderbolts project, and say, I want to have him on to talk about this shit, but I don't want to talk about I don't want to talk about the fucking history. I don't want to talk about where Venus came from. I don't want to talk about how the universe was formed. I want to talk about the electric universe theory and how it relates to right now, what we're seeing, what we're experiencing. That's what I want to talk about.
And the practical applications of that information, What are
exactly
applications?
What are their practical implications or information? Like, even the guy, oh God, I've so many people, and I looked at a couple of his videos. His videos are a little hard to get through because he's another physicist.
Oh, that Brown fella, no?
No. Ben just posted.
It makes me think of that guy, was who I got away from years ago, Michio Kaku. As soon as he started talking about that hive mind, and that's the only way that we could really, I guess, cohesively exist is in this hive mind and leaving the planet. I'm like, fuck that. I don't like the way he was going about it. He was,
Oh, here's this guy. What's his name? Hold on, I'm scrolling up through my messages from Ben. Is it in the conversation with you, Anne, or is it in the conversation?
God, I can't remember. I got about 100 links from him.
What was that, Han?
I said I got about 100 links from him. I couldn't really tell you.
Well, you asked a question. If you ask a question, that's the end of it. The Diehold Foundation. I don't know what the guy's name is. I can't remember what his name is. He talks about, again, interdimensional realities, and he talks about the electric universe and all this kind of stuff. And it's really, really interesting, but I really wish I could I don't have 12 hours to go through his entire courses. Do you know what I mean? So he's another one who I'd like to be able to kind of pin him down and say, okay, so never mind all the background. Let's just pretend like we understand this. Pretend. So what's happening? So just from all your theory stuff that you've put together, so what's happening? Just tell us that. How does that relate to this now? And what are the implications on it? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that would be useful information, wouldn't it?
And I don't see these guys really.
No, they're not addressing the practicalities.
No, and I don't know if it's because they don't want to. Yeah. Diebold and Vogt, I can't say his name, Vogt. He's another one. Great information, but we need to get all these guys sitting at a table together and say, okay, look, practicalities. Just so what is going on right now? And I get that they feel that they have to explain every one of their theories, and they have to explain the background of why they came to these conclusions, etc. I get it. But I think most of us are kind of done with that kind of stuff. It's okay, great, I've got the basics. Now just give me the meat and potatoes. Give me the meat and potatoes of it all.
That's very Irish, Danny. It's very Irish.
That's right. I do have some Irish in my background.
Oh, I definitely do.
Long ways away, but I do.
Do you?
I definitely do myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
The crazy Irish. That's right.
God,
And Scots and Welsh too. I'm fucked.
Scots. From what my ancestry looked like, I don't know, hell, God, it had been now a year ago or so. The last time I checked, it seems like a bit. Yeah, according to my ancestry, if I believe I went on the right path. No, I'm sure I did. There's that word again, believe. It's like a tad bit of Scottish, about a hair on your ass, I guess. That's about it.
No, I have on my mom's side of the family. We're Scottish. We're Stuarts. I'm a Stuart. I used to get scolded by my great grandma all the time when I was little, having table manners and remembering our background that we're Stuarts, and therefore you must carry on the family name. You are a Stuart.
Makes me wonder how many of us actually don't know everything about our ancestry. It's like and then if you're talking to someone about it, and even if you've known them for years, and it's like some people are so apprehensive about it because they know deep down inside, it's like, I know I've already been lied to enough about shit, and if I keep going down farther and digging more, I'm going to find out a whole lot of shit I'm really going to be pissed off about. And that's the thing. I think that really, makes a lot of people apprehensive about it. It's like, I don't know if I want to go there. I like my happy space. I like my happy space better. Yeah.
Well, in certain sides of my family, we've got the history is pretty good. Like my dad's mother's side, we have a family Bible, and it's actually in the London Museum of Natural History. It's kept there, preserved there, and under special, what do they call it, like a climate controlled. And there's a member of the family every year who goes in and updates the family tree, and the family tree goes back to the 1600s. So on my dad's mom's side, we have the full lineage. Like, I'm in there, my kids are all listed in there, the whole bit. My dad's side, though, we have no idea. We know that he's an Arnold. We know that it comes from Germany at some point in time back there, but we have literally no knowledge of who his parents really were or anything, because he wouldn't talk about his childhood, and his parents died when he was very young. So
thank you for saying that. Those little pieces that, where'd you come from? It's like, well, you don't know where, like, who made the great grandparents and so forth. It's like it's where it's sort of like the stone wall comes into play. It's like, what the fuck? Get the hell out of my way, wall. Yeah.
And then you find out the dirty laundry in your family if you go digging. And we discovered where I get my brown eyes from. Because my great grandma, she was a bitch. Oh yeah.
Did you say a bitch?
Oh, a bitch. Oh. My mom's cousin lives in the same house she was born in. So my great grandfather came to Canada in like 1902, and he built the house. And my grandfather and her grandfather were born in that house, and she's never been married, and she still lives in the house. So it's continuous. And we went up, her and my cousin went up into, this is like 25, 30 years ago. Went up into the attic. We were going to clean up stuff, and we found like trunks of all kinds of shit. There was a trunk that was full of letters, and we started going through them, and we found all my letters, all the letters from my great-grandmother to my great-grandfather when he was fighting in World War I. So he's off in Europe fighting in World War I, writing beautiful love letters from the trenches about how much he doesn't know if he's going to survive tomorrow, and he can't tell her where he is, but that he loves her so much, etc. And she's writing back bitch letters like, well, you need to send me more money because I'm going to cotillion next month and I need a new dress. And like literally she was a fucking bitch. Well, it turns out that she had a First Nations Mohawk gardener. And that my grandfather was born 8 months after he came back from the war. And no one in my family has brown eyes. No one in my family has brown eyes. On both sides of my family, for generations back, everyone has blue, gray, or green eyes. I am the only person in the family with brown eyes. Except for one cousin on my dad's side, on his generation, And they said if it wasn't for, it was always the joke in our family, it wasn't for the fact that I looked so much like my dad's cousin when I was born, that everyone would have said I was not my dad's child. But yeah, that was the big joke. As they said, when we read these letters, we're like, oh, great grandma had a little something going on the side with her gardener, and he was full blood Mohawk Nation Indian. So we figured that's why I get such a good tan and why I have almost black eyes. There you go. The shit you can uncover if you go digging.
That's an interesting point what you just said about, what you just said about that. There's so much hush just going around that even my own brother, like so many years ago, it was kept quiet, but our so-called man-child dad was apparently, he lost his job at a recycling place in the same county where they live, in Brown County, Indiana, and our dad, lost his job. He got fired about something. It's like trying to fool around. He was like, he's a real asshole, basically. It's just, I don't even claim him anyways. I don't claim, but the whole that stuff about, like, makes me wonder, it's like, all this, makes me wonder what else has happened.
Did you really find out what was going on? Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, for Pete's sake, we're living in like a cosmological soap opera.
Yeah, cosmological soap opera. Although I find it kind of like there's that, I don't know about you guys, but I was always kind of brought up to believe, there's that word, to believe, that, in the olden times, shit like this just didn't happen, Everyone was prim and proper, and they all, you did what you were supposed to do, and you had, and no, apparently no.
Yeah, marriage was just for title, and basically people slept with whoever they felt like sleeping with after that.
Yeah.
They were just good at keeping secret.
They're good at keeping secrets.
Because they would get the fuck stoned out of them.
Yeah, but I don't think they did. I think it was acceptable. I think the whole shit that we were, this whole story that we've been told about Victorian England and everything so like this, that's fucking bull.
No, I agree. I agree. I think it was a fucking wild party, and let me tell you, they got around.
Yeah. God knows. I could be fucking related to Anne for all I know.
You never know.
We never know. I mean, and this whacked out like the genetic pools around this reality. You never know who you might have some blood like ties to. Heck, for all we know, it's like one big simulation, and it's like I was just thinking about this like hours ago. It could be really just one big simulation, and the fact that we're participating in it, even if we're not completely conscious, it's like, I think about this stuff as like it's like even though like I've said in Facebook, I still don't feel like I know shit. It's just like we said, with theories, it's all theorizing and stuff and speculation, but. It's the way we work. It's the way I work. I mean, it's
almost like
in my head.
Star. It's like we're uncovering. What we're uncovering is what we don't know. It's more of what we don't know. Do you know what I mean? Instead of uncovering stuff and knowing that we know it, we're now uncovering what we don't know.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anne. Made me think of what I just saw. Like, was it? Shoot, where did I see it? I read it. Maybe it was on Facebook. But the knowledge. Now here where I see the word knowledge, I always say, like that last part about ledge. Like, you're sitting out on a ledge.
And now you're going to fall off the ledge.
Hey, I like that. You just, it's like, but you don't want to fall off the ledge, or I guess if you wanted to, like.
Well said, Blair. Well said. I know my name. Everything else is up for grabs. Everything else is speculation. The only reason I know my name is because that's what everyone yells at me when I'm in trouble. So.
Oh gosh, what you just said, Dee. It's like how many of you have like or how many of us is like, yeah, you hear that familiar thing is that your first and your middle name. It's like, oh shit, I think I'm in I'm in deep poo. Yeah.
Yep. When grandma starts calling you by your full name, you knew you were in trouble.
Yeah, and that tone of voice when they say it, or if you actually happen to be in earshot just enough, it's like, oh shit, I heard, yeah. Especially if it was over something stupid. Ugh.
Four of my sisters were named P. There's Pat, Pam, Penny, Poa. Oh, that was always fun when somebody got mad at us because you know what? They couldn't get out our name. It was always
tripping over the names. Yeah.
But what is it a name is like when we're born into this thing and this official document, birth ID, this certificate of live birth, and it's like, I've thought about this stuff too. It's like, nah, I'm not really interested in that. You can have your cards back. I'm not playing this game.
Well, I changed my name. I went from using my first name to my second name when I was 14. I was like, I hate my first name. I'd always hated my first name. I was not going to use it anymore, and I was moving to a new school. I was like, right, changing my name. And they do the roll call. They call you by your full name. And I was like, no, I go by my second name, Danielle. And they're like, okay. And I became Danielle ever since then.
Oh.
And it was the joke that the only person who still called me by my first name was my grandma. And only when I was in big trouble. When I'd done something that she didn't like, I would get the full name. And I was like, oh. She was the only one allowed to call me by my first name.
And I noticed you didn't disclose your first name at all.
No, not going to. No, not going to.
I don't even.
It's not even that it's an awful name. It's not an awful name. It's not like my first name is Bertha or Gertrude or, do you know what I mean? You go, oh, that's old-fashioned.
Hyacinth. I was almost called Hyacinth. Imagine that. I was born on St. Hyacinth's Day.
So bad. At least being named after a flower isn't so bad.
Yeah, that's great.
It just wasn't my name. It just, like, my whole life, it was like that first name was not my name, and Danielle is my name, and it's always been. Always, always, always.
I don't even think the middle name is. It's like, I guess because we're having a child, and we're still unconscious, and we're not aware of it, so we're just going to name this child, whatever, or after a family member or something like people, a heirloom type of thing, or I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. I have imagination, or whatever you want to call it. This thing it's like. There's boring names. I don't even care for my name. It's like I like the name I have. It's like.
But that's all my kids have got 3 names. Every one of my kids have got 3 names, and I gave them all names that are like there's like a classical name because Nick is Irish, so they've got like most of them have got like an Irish name. They've got a more of a classical name, and then they've got an unusual name. Because I wanted my kids to be able to grow up and have a good range of choices. Like if they didn't like the first name we saddled them with, that they could say, or they had like 2 more backup names that they wouldn't even have to go and like change their ID. They could pick one of the others.
I always hated my middle name because it was Lucille. And, people would make fun because that big old country song was popular at that time. And I'd walk into class and they'd be singing it or whatever. Just fucking hated it.
Yeah.
And come to find out, oh my God, talk about feeling like crap. It was my grandma, my paternal grandma's middle name as well. And she was my heart. But I didn't even know it.
No.
Until I was, an older teenager. And then I was
Penny, your microphone is horrific tonight.
You've noticed that? I thought it was just me.
Hear you.
It's like it's.
I heard you say you find out that it was your maternal grandmother's middle name, and that's all we heard.
Yeah, Penny, your end is like really bad. I can't. Yeah, it's like worse than it was yesterday.
I just lowered my voice because oh my God, it still makes me feel like shit to think about it, you know.
We get given names. All my boys, everyone in my family, on my dad's side of the family, everyone is named James after my grandfather. Every one of the kids, James,
James, okay. I'm glad you repeated that.
Gabriel, James Logan, James Keith, James Robert, James. They're all James. Every single male child in our family on my dad's side is James after my grandfather, and they all go by their second name. None of them go by James.
This is about that name, James or Jim. It's like amazing, funny how many characters, even in television shows, have the name James as their actual name, and they'll go by a nickname like James Sonny Crockett or Jim West from the Wild Wild West original shows. All those Jims. What is it with that name?
It is what it is.
Well, what is it with having to have multiple names anyway? Why the hell is that? I mean, why do we have to have 3 names? We have a first name.
You don't have to have 3 names. My mom has only got 2 names. And my mom insisted that my sister and I have 2 names because she hated the fact of she never had a choice. All of her and her family, they only have first names. They don't have second names.
Mm. In Bali, you don't even have to have a family name. You don't have a family name, in fact. And you choose your own name, what you want to be called by, which is really lovely.
We're just chatting.
That's the way it should be. It's like it's one thing, Anne, and what you just said. It's like I thought about this recently. It's like that's the one thing I don't like about coming into this. What we came into is being born into this, and someone's already wants to give you a birth title before you're old enough to say "fuck off."
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Well, in Iceland, they don't really have surnames. At least back when. My cousin was married to an Icelandic guy who immigrated to Canada when he was like 13. And when they arrived in Canada, they were like, "Right, your name." And he was like, "I'm Sigurd." And he was like, "Well, what's your last name?" He goes, "I don't have a last name. I'm Sigurd's son. My dad is Sigurd, so I'm Sigurd, and I'm the son of Sigurd. So I'm, and that's what they ended up calling him. So his last name is written on the books in Canada as Sigurd's son.
Mm.
And he's Sigurd Sigurdsson. He says he can remember the confusion, because he was about 13, I guess, when he came in, and being like, "Well, you have to have a family name." And he was like, "We don't have a family name."
I think in small populations, Danny, they don't, people we have that in Ireland. There's 4 million or so in Ireland. There's 4 million or so in Bali. It's probably less than that in Iceland. And in Ireland, you can say, your man, and all the Irish people know exactly who you're talking about. You don't have to say the name because we recognize the energy of whatever you're talking about. The same in Bali. I can say every first child is called Wayan. So you are called firstborn. Like if you're firstborn, you're called Wayan. So I would be a Wayan. And so a quarter of the population, more or less, have got called Wayan. And you can say, Wayan, and everyone will say, "Yep, I know who you're talking about." So it's like an energetic connection you can make in a small population. You don't need the family label.
Huh? Blair likes your t-shirt. She just came downstairs and was just like,
I was very confused.
"What the fuck are you doing? Why are you on a call tonight? This isn't the right night. I swear it's not the right night."
Yeah, I wonder what we're doing energetically on another level. It's interesting.
Well, that's the thing. So I'd said to you, I was chatting with someone else from the Unfuckers, and we were talking about experiences and shit that was going on. They've written me privately to talk about what they'd gone through. And I said something about, it seems like a lot of people are really feeling they're being thrown offside. Like they're really kind of unstable at the moment, like feeling like they're not quite working things out. And I said, maybe I'll have a call. Maybe I should get everyone together, have a call. And then I think I mentioned it to you, Anne and Ben. I think I did, saying, maybe. Dawn sends me a message And I'd been talking to Dawn earlier, around the same time I was chatting with you and Ben. I was chatting with Dawn as well about a different subject. And I got a message from her about an hour ago saying, hey, didn't you say we're going to have a call? Were you going to do this call? And I'm like, no, actually, I didn't tell you that we were going to have a call, but you picked up on it psychically because I'd literally been going, yeah, maybe we should have everyone get on the call. And then I got tied up doing some video stuff and trying to get some stuff organized. And I was like, it's 11:30. Yeah, no, I'm not tired yet. Fuck it. Let's get everyone together and have a call.
Yeah. Because I think we hold energy together in some kind of way on other levels when we,
Yep, I agree, Anne.
Yeah.
I mean, if it wasn't, it's like I thought about this. It's like I was saying like when we were talking, last night. It's like, yeah, this is having more an effect than we think it is. Otherwise, something is holding this together, and I think we're helping to actually manifest what we want.
Yeah. Yeah.
We want answers, and we want them fucking now.
Let's see if we can manifest somebody to read those fucking charts who's going to give us some real answers.
Somebody could really explain what the blue and the black lines are, because I really don't know. I was saying that to Ben, right? I was joking with Ben about that. He was saying, well, with the charts, and I'm like, well, you have to understand, like, I don't know how to read the charts, but I've been watching the charts. It's like the CERN charts.
Yeah.
I can't read. I'm not a fucking physicist. I can't tell you what all these fucking little things are. But
I just know they're
different. so many years of looking at them, you know what is normal.
Yeah.
You know what a geomagnetic storm looks like. You know what a CME looks like when it comes in. So it's just, but I can't tell you what they are. I know that the red lines are our actual, and the magnetosphere, the red lines are the actual magnetic inner field, if you will, of the Earth. But like when the black and the blue lines do what they did today, when they're like fucking octopus arms that have been gone through an electroshock therapy, I have no idea what that means. Find me someone who can actually like sit down and explain them to us.
Actually, I think if I rooted around in blue Kool-Aid, he did go through something at one point explaining some of it. Now, I don't know how qualified he is to explain it, but I'll have a look.
Yeah, if you can, have a look. Yeah. I don't know. All I know is that it's weird fucking shit's happening, and we can all feel it. And that's the whole thing. When you have this many people in a group, well, look, there's 21 of us here right now. This wasn't a call. This wasn't a pre-scheduled. This is just like a, hey, does anyone want to get together and chat? And 21 people are like, oh, fuck yeah. Just
it's needed.
Something.
It's needed.
So, I don't know. Shit is too fucking weird right now. Shit is just so... And I'm to the point now of like, the theories are... so many theories are on the table that it's kind of like when you dealt a card and you're playing a card game and you have to hold 25 cards in your hand and you're holding the cards. Like, that's what I feel like I'm doing right now with theories. Like, I got all the theories in my hand. I'm like, don't give me another card. If you give me one more card, everything's just going to fall.
It's their cards that need to fall anyway. It's their cards need to fall. The domino effect, the card effect.
Ihor says he's here, but he can't talk because his roommates are sleeping and snoring. Hey, Ihor. I was asking Ihor earlier today if he could find some information, like if there were some Russian physicists out there who might be looking at this stuff, but so far we haven't come up with anything.
I'd like to know if that guy, I haven't even searched, but I'd like to know if that guy Dmitriev has actually posted anything else. I mean, I know he's posted a few things past 98 when he put that original paper out that I was talking about a couple weeks ago. But I'd like to know if he's said anything recently with all the shit that's going on now, like if he's had any more papers come out or if he's even still alive. Like, I don't even know if the guy's even still alive or not. Wow, my hair is just spectacular today.
This magnetic stuff gets any. We'll be going around with our hair like this.
Hey,
I mean, like Danny Dale would go like, so I had a day today.
Yeah.
Thursday.
How
I
you
can't
doing?
deal with it anymore.
hey, I'm a guy, obviously, and I don't even like. Fuck it.
Hey guys.
Hello, Anna.
Hi. I had to jump off for a while. I was on my phone and it has decided to go crazy. I don't know if y'all can see what the screen's doing. It's just jumping from one thing. It just kept jumping from screen to screen, switching screens. And it took me forever to shut it off because to restart it, because I would hold the button down and the restart button would come up, but before I could hit it, it would switch screens again. And I finally got it restarted, but it's still doing it. There we go. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. I need this for navigation tomorrow.
Well, you know what? Take the battery out.
You can't with this phone.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, that's just stupid. How can you have a piece of technology you can't remove the battery from? I'm sorry, like that's my go-to.
I know. I figured
pull the battery out.
I'm just going to let it die and then plug it back in the morning and see what happens. Because it's still doing it. I'm going to try to shut it off again, but it's crazy.
Well, I'm going to be daring right now, guys. So if you lose me, I'll come back in. But
God, you're not opening another link, Danny. Woo.
Yeah, I'm opening up this solar space weather. I'm gonna look at the graphs just to see.
That's what I like about this phone I've got. I could just take the back cover off and slide the battery right out. That way, if someone tries to even contact me to leave a phone message, I'm not gonna get no voicemail from somebody I don't want to hear. They charge anyway for this shit. These truck phones, they charge for every fucking thing.
I never fucking charge my phone. I'm terrible. I'm gonna press the button right now. I got 2 bars, but like I just never use it.
You guys want to hear something really freaky? I've got a 50-inch, one of those Ultra K TVs, right? Now I have 2 different TVs and I have them hooked to computers as monitors, right? But if I walk towards that one, the UK TV, if I get too close, the screen will go black. It just goes black. Yeah, I could wave my hand and it'll go black. And yeah, my phone has been shutting off too. I have to watch that.
I wish mine would shut off.
So my phone last night did we had so we're in Dallas, so we were trying to figure out directions. And I put it on one, like Google Maps, and then I was like, oh no, I should use the regular map. So I put it on that. And the one in the background, the Google Maps, she started freaking out and was saying like, turn right, turn left, turn right. It would be like, go east on highway whatever, and then go west on highway whatever, and just freaking totally spazzing out. It was really freaky. You were like, what is going on?
Okay,
like
but you know what?
Losing it.
Well, but again, I'm going to go back. I'm going to check geomagnetics. When the poles are moving and all the magnetics are all over the fucking place, GPS doesn't work. So if you have an AI bot, because you're not the first one, I actually have had a couple of people message me in the last 2 weeks saying, my GPS took me to like a dead end street on the opposite side of town from nowhere close to where I was supposed to be. If it's programmed, so I mean, I'm not a programmer. JC would probably be able to give us better information. But if it's programmed on the GPS, and all of a sudden the GPS starts going like fucking this, what does that do to the AI that's been programmed to give you directions? If all of a sudden the GPS coordinates are like all over the place, I don't know.
You just remind me of something. It just popped in my head. when I was gone for a little while back there, it's like I haven't really had this acute problem with like that vertigo and disorientation since like 2000. In 2000, I was getting it bad. If you woke up with it, and you wake up and you just feel weird, and you even sit up, and you raise your head enough, and then everything's kind of balanced, and you try to walk, and things are bouncing around. Yeah.
Sorry, you said you had that in 2000?
Yeah, and it's kind of coming around again. When I was back there, it's like, I felt that.
That's when it hit me too. Was in 2000.
So we still got shit going on, folks.
Of course, in 2000, I was actually been in a worse place emotionally and mentally. So it's like I've come a long way, simply, but it's like, and that starts up again, that dizziness and disorientation. She was like, damn, we're definitely going through something.
Yeah, it's still pretty unstable. And there's been a few hits. I'll show you guys. I'm just going to pull up the... no, I need the magnetosphere over here. Page 9. I'm going to take a look at... I'll pull this up too. We're going to really tempt fate. We're going to see if I can get them both to go. Second, I'll have to reset the time date stamp on this one. Okay, 300. Give me 300 frames and apply. Okay, I'll show you guys. Maybe I'll show you guys. Where's the share button? There it is. Okay, get rid of the chat. Okay, so it's going back. I couldn't get anything past 4 a.m. on the 3rd. When I did the initial recording, I couldn't see anywhere past it. So now at least we can see we went down back here. It goes back as far as 5:50 a.m. and it's pretty calm. It's not that bad until it starts stretching out. And I think it was around 10 a.m., 11 a.m. again. There's the first one, little one there. Yeah, there we go. So it pulls right out again and snaps off. So that's at 12:30 this afternoon. And you can see it's bowing here, like there's something incoming, because you can see this is really, really bent over.
It looks like a pretty steady, that wave is pretty steady. It's almost like a rhythm.
Yep. Now there's the next one there. That's at 1700. And then again, just before 1800. So between 1700 and 1900, you have several more. But you can see, you can see how everything's coiling here, and it's just snapping off, and it's a continuous flux. And you can see here, there's continuously something incoming at the moment. Now we've just gone back to the beginning, because you can see the way it's bowed in. I just was taking a quick look over here. I can't see it because my controls are in front of the thing. If we take it, run it up to about 1500. Yeah, see there again. So this is where these are density measurements, right? So you can see where it just all of a sudden gets really, really dense in. There's something going on. I'll be damned if I can figure out what that something is. true. I don't want to get into that right now. So it's continuing. Whatever it is, it's still continuing. Wait, I better pause that. It's still playing in the background. You stop playing.
I wonder how long this has been going on and how I bet the ears ringing and shit. It's like, yeah, I'm trying to, it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if it's part of the attacks and something to that effect. And it's like, I'm just now starting to think about that more and more. It's like, I guess I would explain why some people are experiencing it, some people don't. And it's like, if you're aware of it and like, yeah, it's like.
Well, it also comes into harmonic frequencies, right? So each one of us has our own frequency. We have our own magnetic field. We have our own electrical fields. So some people will be affected stronger. For example, we don't know what frequencies those storms or whatever it is that we're seeing is hitting. If it's closely aligned to a certain person, or even to the point of susceptibility, some people may be more susceptible to magnetic change. It's the same way how you have some people who cannot even have a Wi-Fi in their house because the EMFs off Wi-Fi, literally all it takes is to be, there's one person I used to know quite well, and she ended up literally going completely offline in 2013. And she went and moved out to a farm in the country where there was no Wi-Fi towers, where there were no cell towers, where there was nothing, because she could not be around any of that, because the littlest bit, her head, she would have to be taken to hospital with blinding headaches. And that she was one of the first fully documented, proven cases of EMF pollution, that she just cannot be around any of it. She has to live out in the middle of the countryside. Crazy.
What if it's a combination of that? She can't be around that. That's what I was just thinking. Maybe we're even been experiencing this could be some of the effects of what's going on naturally, and I'm just now thinking to that too. Maybe I thought about that recently, but yeah, it's like maybe it's not a quote attack. Maybe it could be just something we're supposed to go through with the effects, including the ears ringing.
If you're sensitive to it, I mean, this is the whole thing. All this stuff that we're talking about can be linked to all kinds of things. Genetic mutation, that we become sensitive to it. But I mean, I don't know. Back in 2010, 2011, I was convinced, I had a belief, if you will, that at some point in time there was going to be some kind of event that would be solar in nature, cosmic in nature, and that it would be the trigger that we needed to advance, to wake up, to turn on all that latent DNA and brain pan space that we don't use. But I don't know. And every so often I go back and revisit that belief and say, well, we see this shit coming in. Is that what it is? Is is it some kind of a trigger that at some point we just get hit with a pile of cosmic rays and poof, it just turns on all that DNA that we are using at the moment? I don't know. It's got to be there for some reason.
That's what I'm wondering, if it is, like Mary said, Allison Cole's The Wave.
But now we've always had cosmic rays, right, Denny?
Yeah, but not to this level. We have no magnetic. So this is the piece that a lot of people don't comprehend. Is Ben got into this a little bit on one of the videos we did recently, one of our conversations recently. Our magnetosphere, our magnetic shield, if you will, the field, is what keeps out all these cosmic rays, which keeps out all of this radiation, solar radiation, etc. So the sun goes in an 11-year cycle. We have solar maximum, solar minimum, solar maximum, solar minimum. What we're in right now is a grand solar minimum. The grand solar minimums only happen like once every 400, 500 years. So what Ben was saying, was it in the recording we did, Anne? I think it was even before you got on. The last grand solar minimum was during the Renaissance. Well, what did we see happen during the Renaissance? They call it the Renaissance for a reason. All of a sudden, art, music, there was it was an enlightened period as far as if you look at what we're told the history was prior to that, right? So it brought about, the grand solar minimum brought about the Renaissance. So is that what we're going into? Like, is it we're about to go into the next Renaissance period because we're at the solar minimum? Solar minimum means that our magnetic shields are so low, are so weak, that all those cosmic rays coming through actually penetrate. They're not. We don't have shields anymore. Basically, we're on the Star Trek Enterprise, and shields are now at about 7%. So those, all that energy, all those waves, they're coming in. They're absolutely coming in. Are they good? Are they bad? I don't know. All we can do is just watch and see how it plays out, right? But in my mind, anything that's changed, there's going to be upheaval. There's going to be upheaval when there's change. And geologically speaking, we're looking at the upheaval, right? Where it goes from there, I don't know.
And more people continuing to lose their shit who aren't even aware of what's going on a conscious level. And
exactly.
You know.
No, I will say, I had someone, you know me, I don't really do the channeled messages that often, but I do. When people send me stuff, I'll always take a look at it. And when I posted the video today, someone sent me a post on Facebook by someone who, strangely enough, is in my friends list. And he's a channeler, and I don't know how he ended up in my friends list. He's only appeared there a month ago. Apparently, he's now my friend. And it's one of these very long Palladian kind of love and light type posts. But it's talking about all sorts of stuff. It's talking about how there was a blue light event that happened for the transformer blowing out, and that was them, and da. But the post was made, I think, December 30th or December 31st. And he said, watch for the next wave. The next wave will be between the 1st and the 3rd. And so when she saw my report, she went, holy shit. They said that the next wave was going to come in. It was going to be a huge, massive wave, the biggest one that we'd ever seen. And it was going to be between the 1st and the 3rd of January. I don't know. Take that for whatever it is. Take it for whatever it is. We don't know. We don't know. Pay attention to me, Mommy. Rebecca's like, pay attention to me. Pay attention to me, Mommy. I have one too, but she's got a cup of tea, so she can't jump on me. And why are you awake at 1:45 in the morning?
I don't need to ask. I'm 16 years old. What do you think I do?
She's 16 years old.
The fact that you're holding that cup, even drinking it, it makes me think of what happened here in the States here like years ago. This elderly woman who was driving, I guess, with this hot coffee she'd gotten from McDonald's and spilled it. Yeah. I was like, I cannot fucking believe it. Only in the United States of ass wipes could that happen.
Yep. You can sue someone for serving you hot coffee.
Yeah, I remember how.
Okay,
I remember
but there was
getting coffee at McDonald's and like, oh my God, you weren't kidding. It really changed it. It's not even.
But there was more to it than that. They served the coffee in the wrong cup. It wasn't in a regular coffee cup. It was in a cup that was meant for cold soda waters.
Right, and it was scalded.
Contributed to it, yeah.
And she got severe burn.
Oh yeah, and I know, and I get it. And I totally get it. But you have to understand, like in Canada, that was a fucking joke. Tim Hortons coffee. Now, if you know anything about Canada, Canadians live and die by Tim Hortons coffee.
Is our version of Starbucks.
We have Tim Hortons coffee shops on every fucking street corner in fucking Canada. They actually immediately put on their cups. Yeah, it's hot. You ordered it hot. It's going to be hot. Don't sue us. They had those printed on their cups, and fucking Canadians were just like,
Thank you for saying that. Common sense, where the fuck did it go?
Back a few generations.
I mean, talk about
what are you doing up at 2 o'clock?
a circus of baboons. I mean, jeez.
My other daughter's up too. Somebody save me from teenagers.
I like my coffee hot, and unfortunately, these coffee makers, coffee makers don't usually do, but yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, how to make coffee really hot to the point where you have to blow on it before you can drink it.
I drink black tea, so I can't tell you. I drink black tea with nothing in it, so I have to hold my teacup for at least a few minutes to let it cool down enough that I can actually drink the stuff.
It's not like biting into a damn sandwich that's really hot. I'm like, you assholes just served me a really popping hot sandwich. I ought to see your asses for burning the hell out of my tongue and my mouth. Yeah.
That was also a joke. Oh, trust me, those jokes in Canada, they went everywhere. It was like pizza places. Oh, look, Dawn's back in her car again.
Or these videos, I saw one where, I mean, I'm sure a lot of us heard about that, plus the over-the-head ice challenge thing, but the one where it was going around with the world's hottest peppers, people taking that challenge. And I'm seeing some girl being coaxed by her boyfriend who was laughing his ass off being stupid, and she does it, and she's freaking out. I'm watching this, like,
but people are too fucking
out and shoveling stuff down her throat, food, and after she says, that was stupid. And she goes, and he's like, Bill, any better? She's like,
Tide Pods.
Huh?
Tide Pods. It fucking, like, people are just fucking stupid. I'm sorry, that's called the Darwin Awards. We don't want their genetics in the human race anyway.
Hey, I heard everything you said, Danny. I was on a table and I couldn't talk, but I heard everything. So.
Did I get the story right? Somewhat right?
Yeah. I got the repeat of the story, and then I mean, it's like those. I remembered it so perfect because I remember thinking to myself that they totally played the police. They called every police unit out from the side here down the street to divert. Because whenever you call in a cop down, every cop's going to come.
Yeah.
So at the time,
we can't hear you, Dawn. You're breaking up
really,
really bad.
Remember that story. I was waiting for comments. There wasn't any. So, can you hear me?
Not really. You're breaking up really bad because you're
breaking up, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, the perils of tech.
It is what it is, hon.
Yeah, Dawn, the perils of tech.
Yeah.
Failing tech, you mean. Yeah. The perils of failing tech.
Yeah. I'll be home in 5 minutes. I'll be back at my desk.
Well, I'm going to have to head to bed because it is now 10 to 2. And I still haven't made my bed.
Oh, is it?
I now have dry sheets, but I still have to go to my bed. I may forego the hot shower and the hot water bottle tonight, though.
What about might grab mine and fill it up.
There's one that, yeah. You can fill it up.
I'm even having trouble remembering my dreams more. It doesn't matter whether I've had
weird ones, but I can't remember any of them.
Yeah. It doesn't matter whether I had any smoke or not. It's like it can depend. But yeah, I like to remember stuff that, it's like writing it down. Like I started keeping a notepad next to my bed like way back. So yeah, I have my notepad next to my bed. I wake up and then I can remember something. It's just, yeah.
Nothing. I haven't remembered anything this week. Although Quinlan had a weird dream about finding a baby kitten on our roof and how she had to look after it.
Aw.
Usually I don't remember things, so I was a bit off.
Well, so there you go. No, mine have been really, really fucking weird. But when I wake up in the morning, nothing. I remember absolutely nothing.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah. Well, darlings, I do have to go to bed. It is 2 o'clock in the morning. I slept till 11 o'clock in the morning. That does never happen. Never. Ever. I got up this morning and like sat at my desk and fired up the computer and looked at the clock and went, oh, half my day is gone. But I'm gonna probably end up doing the same thing today because I'm lay in bed and read for a bit. Read until my eyes get tired and hopefully fall asleep.
Well, you just sit there until your eyes get tired. It's like it's like at least the second night in a row I did this. It's like literally when you're actually feel like you're trying to go into the dream state, when you're that out of it and you're holding chocolate, and next thing you know, you drop the crap. You're like, shit. I'm like, I'm out of it.
But for real or in your dream?
Like I'm sitting here, I could still like what do you call it? Your function, your brain function will just start to go into that dream function or whatever. And it's like, yeah, I'm sitting here trying to, and I'm out of it. I'll do this for a couple of seconds, for like a few seconds, just enough, and then I'll drop and like, damn, I gotta sleep at some point. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, but it didn't matter because sometimes when you do fall out of it, it's like crap. I wake up like not even 3 hours later, or it can be longer. It's like if I could just sleep for 5 hours straight, I'm good anymore. Fuck it, get 5 hours of sleep.
5 hours? You see, I have children, and my children sleep with me. I still have one that sleeps with me almost every night. So I haven't had really, truly 5 hours of unbroken sleep is pretty much rare for pretty much the last 20 years of my life.
Oh gosh, yeah. I think it's been like I've mentioned, it's been a long time since I've actually, consistently slept for 7+ hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I've been doing more of those recently. I have been doing a lot more of those recently. But that's that where you can't sleep at night and you just pass out and then you're gone.
Part of it is too, I'm still trying to get used to the noise around me, above me, and when you hear thudding, like someone dropping something, or they have a dog up there anyways. They have a dog too, which does it. But yeah, I can hear something dropping, and I don't hear anybody walking. I'm like, what? They leave their dog up there and is messing around with stuff, toys or whatever. But yeah, I'm like, so yeah, when you're kind of a nervous person anyways, that doesn't help. I like it. Yeah. I like it quiet.
I have mom radar, so I hear nothing when I sleep, except my mom radar is always like highly tuned. So like, someone starts coughing, even quietly, 3 rooms over, I hear it. But like, we have thunder and lightning storms here, boom, boom, massive, and I'm like, I slept through the whole thing. As long as the mom radar doesn't go off, I just sleep through it. Okay, darlings, I have to go to bed. I love you. And I will see you tomorrow.
Good night, Dee.
Night, Dee. If you're actually going to sleep.
We love you too.
I'm going to bed.
Good night.
Night, Dee. Love you.
Oh, it's still going.
Yeah, it's Dee popped me a PM in Facebook. She's like, you mind, opening your account? Yeah, I'm gonna, get together.
Still recording too.
That's mine.
Oh, that was sweet of you, Star. Thank you.
It's my account. Yeah, yeah. You're welcome. And it's like, just D. Like I said, D dropped me a Facebook PM, and I said, we use your account. Yeah, I want to start, get together, and anyway,
That was nice of you, Star.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the mood for this scene was it's like I mentioned. You don't have. I'm living by myself. I have no one here to talk to. There's no one in this building I can connect with. And plus, that some friends that one friend of mine that came over a while back, John Howard. I mean, he's doing his own thing too. I mean, he's like he does this independent driving for this company, and he's like he designs websites or just stuff like that though.
That's a good job to have.
Yeah.
Web designers get paid pretty well.
What, Jane?
I said web designers get paid pretty well.
Yeah. I mean, I'd want to get paid enough. It's like especially but you guys know if you really put yourself into what you're doing, and you're good at it. It's like I don't mind helping somebody out even, but it's like it's like you at some point you want to get paid.
Night, guys. Have a good time.
Night, Linda. Love you. Yeah, I'm like, good thing my strong point is writing. I'm actually trying to get myself to write a bunch of stuff down, and I wish I had a really long, sheet of paper to do it, and like a roll, and I would just start pulling it out and just writing a bunch of stuff down instead of trying to just use a regular writing tablet, a little one. There's all the stuff that can go on into your, in your head that if you don't write it down, and it's good, and you think it, might be something new or a better or a more clear way of putting it that someone else, goes into something, and a lot of people are like kind of, they're not really, and then someone else explains it differently and more clear, then you're like, oh, okay, you said the same thing, only you clear it, you put it simpler or clarified it more, something like that, because that's happened.
You have quite profound thoughts, Star. I think you should write them down.
Yeah. I have to actually, but I was mentioning earlier about the discipline thing. I'm trying to just getting yourself to actually do it. Say, now I just need to do this just to get it done. And the next thing you know, you might have, you'll have a bunch of stuff. One thing comes up, then something else will come up, then you'll end up writing something else down. Which is better, obviously, than trying to, if you have all this stuff in your head, and then, it's like there's so much there that you're having a conversation, it's like something come up, it's like, I could have put it that way or earlier, made it simpler. This is one thing, it's like, I don't think any of us wants to do is make anything about ourselves any more complicated than necessary. That's one thing we're unlearning to not not do that.
Yeah, things are complicated enough, so they are. I started to make a document, just pulling together all the narratives, to look for the commonalities in the stories and what everyone is talking about, to make sense of all the narratives, just to pull them all together with what we know for sure, which is simply what we're feeling, really. Because it was all kind of like Danny said, it was like holding too many cards. And they were all swimming around in my head. But yeah, I haven't finished it yet. But it's one way.
When she puts up something like that, so many people come in and they'll leave their, various dreams or what have you. So you end up with a soup, a soup of information that you have to, kind of sift through and determine what's relevant to what you're looking for, and what can be put to the side.
Yeah.
So I don't know, were you reading the comments underneath her post at all?
I haven't seen all of them.
Okay. No, I mean, all of them were fine. It's just, it seemed the topic kind of got hijacked now here and there, if you will. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, and I think sometimes I have to kind of step back. I haven't felt like, it's like I've very little to say these days, and I haven't wanted to use words. I haven't wanted to be, I've been pulling away from even like making comments on Facebook. I read things and I might put an emoji or something like that, but I don't even want to write anything. And I don't know. I feel like sometimes if I think too much about it or I read too much of this stuff, that I get pulled away from myself, from what I know is true in me.
Yeah.
And I have to keep coming back to that, what really feels right for me, what is really resonating with me.
Yes. Yes. As you go through those comments or your data that you're collecting, keeping that in mind, because your intention is behind this work. And so, you know what I mean? So there's going to be comments there that you'll recognize that, that match what you're looking for to get where you want to be.
Yeah.
Because like I said, there's so many differing, I mean, yeah, it just went all over the place, that conversation, the responses.
And I guess I'm all about the practicalities, really. It's like, okay, that's grand. There's all these theories and ideas and possibilities, but what's practical? What can we do? What can we actually take out of this that is going to be helpful to us right now?
Right.
Interesting.
Dawn, look at the size of that cup. I've never seen a cup that big. That's huge.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Wow. Hey, so Dawn, now that you're here, tell us, how are you doing? How are you doing now? You've had a weird day.
Yeah, it started off really, hold on, y'all. Roscoe, I have no food, I promise. I'm just being circled. Stuff. I just woke up, like right out of the gate with that weird police message. It's like a replay. And even what came out of my mouth was a replay, and then it hit me, and I was like, oh my God. Like, the story itself is so, like, I see stories all the time with the police, right? But this one just sticks out, because to me it's a complete setup. It's easy, like pull all the cops into one area so you go run and do something else, So I remember having this discussion last year, and then of course I took the dog and the cat, and she had no record. I mean, this girl I give cannabis to. I've known her for years. It makes no sense. So I just kind of drew back. Because right when she said that, I knew she was telling me the truth.
Well, I don't know what happened. Can you just give it in a nutshell, kind of,
Well, she's been grooming my dad's dog and his cat for 5 years.
Okay.
Maybe even longer. And so I took them in today, and she had no record of ever seeing these animals, and she didn't even recognize them.
Oh, wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah, no, and right at that moment after the whole news thing had hit, because this was about an hour later, I realized that something was going on right there.
Oh, so what was going on?
Well, obviously, if there's a repeat of a story that was a year ago, that's what I was saying before this with the cops, the same exact story played out. And then walking in and her not knowing, having no records, I knew that something had shifted. Something changed.
Wow. Wow.
I
wasn't here on the call earlier.
It's okay. Yeah, I mean it's just it's never going to be like it's going to be little weird things that get your attention. When before
that's kind of major.
Yeah. But I mean, because we're all on top of this stuff, right? But I mean, the average person would have been probably would have had to play that off somehow or make an excuse.
Yeah.
Here, hold on. I'm taking you outside. Come here.
Wow.
He's so grumpy, y'all. All he ever wants to do is eat. It's all about the eating. Okay? He wants his food and he wants it now.
What kind of dog is that?
It's Mr. Wiener.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I've seen him.
This is the one that's had 3 back surgeries.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's the one that saved me whenever I was in my addiction. I told you, he's the one who took on those beings. He was fearless.
Oh, I remember that story. Oh.
I know. Yeah, he's quite the dog.
Oh.
Come on, let me put him out. Come on, Roscoe.
Oh, look at that lovely cat.
Yeah, cats are quite amazing.
Yeah, I love cats.
Is that your daughter, Rebecca?
Rosie, is that her name?
Tell her hello.
Rosie. Hi, Rosie.
Hi, Rosie.
Hi there, Rosie.
Oh.
How old is Rosie? Let me guess. Rosie is 7.
Oh.
5. Okay. Well, you look bigger in the camera.
I looked at you when you said 7. I was looking at her. I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, no, you're not 7. You look like you're closer to 4 or 5.
Wow, that's trippy, Don.
Yeah, I'm just starting to really wonder because, this whole thing with my sister playing out and everything, it seemed like a lot of things changed for me after I went through that sickness for a month. And it's like I come out of it and everything. Like,
wow.
And I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that is, I'm blown away. I can't imagine what was going through your mind and while you stood there and listened to this.
I mean, yeah, and like I said, because now I understand, like I didn't.
Wow.
I just looked at her, I go, okay, well, I just played it off because the average person's not going to get it.
Okay, so did she go ahead and groom him?
Yeah, and then what was weird is Spring, who normally is very calm,
yeah,
the dog was horrible today.
Oh, wow, maybe it was her energy.
It was bad. It was so bad that I had to go in there and hold the dog.
Wow.
I don't know. Everything's off.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm to the point where I'm just like, Okay.
Maybe we really are getting somewhere, you know?
I don't know. I think we're
Seems like it. You think what?
I think we're shifting in and out of timelines multiple times a day sometimes.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah, because we do live in this fucking bizarre world. So yeah, the whole yeah, it's funny. Yeah, you could be like, no, you could experiencing some type of. It makes me think of some like constant fluctuation of that. Well, since it's not linear anyways, it's like, yeah, we could experience it and not even, be completely, conscious of it. It's like, for sure, probably more so than I am.
Your voice turned into music.
Yeah, we didn't hear a freaking word you said. You were like frozen.
That figures, yeah. My screen just said your connection is unstable.
And Anna's phone is still doing weird stuff.
Yeah. I feel like it's the spooks. I feel like it's the spooks fucking with us.
Has anybody noticed that you send messages on your phone and then they're not there anymore? And it's like they never went? That's been happening to me now for weeks. I will actually type a message out, hit send, and then go back to look at it. It's not even there.
I've had that since before Christmas. I thought it was because, there was loads of traffic around at Christmas or something. But
it happened to me again yesterday. And I noticed because I have a lot of, I'm sending stuff to patients and I'll look down and it's not there. It's like I never sent it. I'm telling you, this is the shit I'm talking about. I was just going, okay. So I have to redo it. I'm like.
Well, they're preparing Houston for 5G right now, just so you know.
I'm sure.
And not that that's it. I'm just saying.
Well, we had that creepy. Okay, so New Year's Eve night, I go hang out at Spencer's. We do fireworks. Now, what's so creepy about it is I'm on my way home. It's like 1 a.m, and there's fog all over, and it's all the smoke.
Yeah.
Fireworks is mixed with the fog to where people are like almost at a standstill on the freeways.
Oh.
You're doing hazard lights, and I mean it's like you're driving into walls of. And nobody had ever seen that before.
There was a 25-car pileup north of me on 59 because of that shit.
I don't even know how I made it home. I was with like a group of 4 cars, and we were all like hanging out together. And it was like you go and then you kind of stop, and then I'm thinking, holy crap. And then as I'm driving, I'm thinking, there's something really weird about this.
Yeah.
It doesn't even seem right. Like, I've lived here my whole life and I've never seen this.
Okay, and but it was like driving into a smoky cloud kind of thing.
Yeah, and it was, you're seeing smoke and fog.
Okay, yeah. You know what this makes me think of, though, is the fucking, but the chemtrails, being so thick in our skies, and this shit can't get up through them. Do you know what I'm saying? And because they're metals, they're coming down. So anything that, I don't know, maybe there's something to that. I don't know. But it does seem like the clouds are so much lower anymore.
They've been lower.
Yes.
I've been saying that for years. I started noticing that at least 4 or 5 years ago. I was like, the whole atmosphere is moving.
Yeah, exactly. The whole atmosphere, not just the clouds. And the moon and sun are a lot closer.
Yeah.
That's why we keep getting these super moons, right, that we rarely saw before. And now they're like every month or every other month. It's like, that's because they're getting closer to us.
The moon on Christmas Day, Christmas evening, I was blown away. I couldn't friggin' believe my eyes. I never in my entire life saw anything like it. It was humongous. And it was as if it was like you could reach out and touch it. And I wanted so bad to get a picture, but we were in traffic and there was just too much debris between, you know, trees and lines and all that. But oh my God, I was blown away. I was like, this is almost scary. I mean, not literally, but kinda. It was
Well,
that,
yeah, you know,
yeah, it was that close and that big.
You
I've
just made me
been,
think, Jane. You just made me think about like how I made a joke in my head about it's so close you could rope it, like lasso it type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been noticing too, when I go outside to smoke, you know, I sit there and I just observe. Well, one thing I've noticed is like watching the birds in the background, you know, and they'll be like 100 yards, excuse me, 100 yards away. Sometimes they're like appropriate in size, and other times it seems like they're so huge that they're closer than they really are. I mean, it's like I can see almost all the detail on them, and they're at the same distance. I don't know if I'm explaining this right.
Yeah,
So
I'm getting your visual.
yeah, so there's times where it's like everything you're looking at seems to be enlarged or closer than it really is, and I can't figure out what the atmosphere is doing
Yeah.
in those moments, but there's definitely something.
Yeah.
And I guess if I think about it, you know, Ben was saying how it's the atmosphere is liquid, it's just in gas form.
Yeah, that was crazy when he said that.
So I wonder if the vaporous water, right? If the
Right.
molecules are bigger, that would magnify things.
Right. And if there is a firmament above us and it's supposedly water, you know, it just
Yeah.
makes me think, you know, it triggers those stories.
This is making me think you two are talking about, making me think of what the, like a long time ago, it seems like now, when Duncan Opinion and some of them were talking about the atmosphere. And he also mentioned it on some, he only did this once I know of, between Duncan and his now wife. They were doing these like workshops, if you will, and he was talking about how whether like setting the sky up as a projection thing, and how they were eventually wanting to use it sort of like as a holographic projection screen. That's why they were doing this in the sky, and plus it was supposed to like supposedly affect whatever like nano crap might be in the body. That's what he was mentioning. I just remember this triggered my memory. You and two talked about
Oh,
that.
it is interesting. You know, when you can look at a crow flying across your yard, you know the size of the crow, right? You've seen them all your friggin' life, but it's the size of a fucking hawk. Come on. You know, something is going on.
Yeah. Well, y'all saw that one video I posted with all the lightning, you know, remember that one, you know, where it got in the same spots, man. If you watch the video, I watched it like 3 times and I could tell it was in the same spot. It just kept hitting. I'm like, this motherfucker's malfunctioning.
Well, did you
it
see
looks
that?
like
Did you see that post by the photographer where he put the minute lapse on top of each other of the lightning, and it was all just within that area? I mean, what? There had to have been 100 strikes in that picture.
I know it. Well, I'm telling y'all, whatever's coming is coming quick. And, you know, it's like we've all been trained for this moment, right? You know, like we've all, thank God, you know. That
When you said that, Dawn, trained for this moment, it made me think about you, my brain memory, that God's in training, that stuck in my
we are.
head.
I feel like we are. I'm like, if we can make it to this place and wake up, shit, what does that say about us? That says we're pretty freaking awesome.
Well, I'm just glad it's finally coming. It's almost here. You know, we've been doing this since what, 2012, 2011, 2012?
For ages,
Yeah.
Penny. We've been dealing with this shit for ages, actually.
Yeah. So it's like, yeah, bring it on.
And the ties that bind the logos to matter are going to be freed. That's really the bottom line. You know, we are the logos. We are the ones trapped in matter.
Yeah. Keep going. Tell us more.
Well, that's just how I feel that, you know, we are big. We're never too small. Never.
What do you think their main objective is with, you know, the chemtrailing and all this other trying to, what seems like, lock us down? You know what I mean? Lock us in.
No, I think they're trying to.
Yeah, they definitely want us locked into this false reality. I have no doubt about that, but that's failing anyways. Just their plan isn't working.
I
agree with D. Huh?
I think you can look at it two ways.
Yeah.
You could look at it as the Rose, you know, if you follow Rose and, you know, with the whole what's happening, or you could go with the other more ancient storyline in some ways of Sirius being the sun maker, and that they're, you know, our sun is dying and a new sun is about to be born, and that new sun is going to be Jupiter. So there's a whole backstory to this. You know, with what they call Planet X or whatever coming in, colliding with Jupiter to create the new sun. And, you know, I don't know. It's something.
Hey, Dawn, where does that originate from? Because I've never heard that before.
Well, that's Rose's perspective. Yellow Rose.
No. Rose doesn't talk about the Sirius connection. That's more of a biblical. It's more out of the Bible, actually.
Yeah, and doesn't the Bible even mention a new earth?
Well, I'm good friends with Lotta Leon, and Lotta and I talk a lot about the Sirius Jupiter Planet X deal. You know, she's pretty. Her and her husband have done a lot of research on this, so there's a lot to it. She could explain it better than I could. Y'all would probably need to go back and watch. She's got some videos out about it, but it's pretty powerful, and they got a lot to back it up.
Can you tag me in one?
Sure.
Thank you.
What was her name again?
Why don't you just could you put it?
Lotta Leon, but her. Put it
in the chat. Chat.
Sovereign Key.
Sovereign Key is her channel, isn't it?
Yeah, Sovereign Key.
I think I've been there just last week.
She's really great. I love Lotta. George is great too. Lotta and George Leon. They've done like a 3-part series on this. It's pretty substantial.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll watch it.
It didn't come through. Did you put it in the chat?
Hold on, I'll get it. Hold on.
All right.
Hold on.
Just say, you can even drop the link in the chat, because,
She the gal with the real long blonde hair?
Yeah, well, it's dark. It's darker.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, hold on. So here's her YouTube. And here.
Yeah, I do like her.
Yeah, Lotta's a gem.
I've heard her 2 or 3 times actually. But I've been following the Planet X stuff forever.
Well, but it kind of ties in what that's all about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right, thank you, Dawn.
Yeah, if you go on there, she talks about the metal god. She's let's see here. You'll start with let's see. Astrotheology, unveiling the most astonishing secrets, and then astrotheology part 2, and then the biggest secrets of the age part 2, Jupiter, things like that. You'll see it on there. There's a bunch. I'm gonna tell you.
I watched more than half of that one, The Biggest Secrets, and I watched The Metal God, Counterfeits, AI, and the Underworld part 1 and 2. And 3. I've watched all 3.
The problem is they use a lot of scripture, but they're using it to show you.
Yeah.
If people get turned off to it, he is not a fan of religion, none of that.
Right.
He believes like I do about Isa.
Yep, I understood
Isa being the proper name of what they call Jesus, but the Jesus figure is not Isa. Okay, Isa was his own being. So they go into that too. So I have all of these things in common with them that I've always known inside of me. So it kind of like brought out some things that I had not heard anybody really talk about. So I've gotten pretty tight with her.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah. But for some reason, it's like everybody goes after. There's a lot of cutthroat in this community right now, and when people, I just see a lot of infighting and a lot of stuff going on. I try to stay out of it, so I don't talk about too much about what I watch because I don't want to bring on any.
Sure.
Well, there is truth in the Bible, just because there is truth in it. I mean, we're witnessing biblical things right now. So, I mean,
there's just a lot going on above our heads, man. And
yeah,
the whole thing playing out that's affecting the planet. It's all part of whatever it is, whether it's the whole system coming together to bring in the new sun, or Rose's deal where we're going to be going east and west, and.
Well, it's like Danny says, and she's been trying to tell us in a gentle way, just don't believe the full thing, but there are truths in everything.
Wish I could say that. I thought there was truth in everything because there's so much, lying going on still. It's like I just keep myself open to what made me think of what Ann said. Well, you guys were just talking about, like, whatever feels right to you, whichever really feels deep down and right to you.
Yeah, whatever resonates with me, that's all I can take anyway. I mean, and I just don't like all this bashing that's going on. I really, really don't. I won't be there, Dawn. It just, I just have no time for people doing each other in. There's so many ways that we've all got here, so many different tracks that we've taken and bits of information that have been part of our ladder to get here, and they're very specific to different people. What resonates with one person won't necessarily resonate with another, and yet can be equally helpful in, opening up your understanding of something. So I have no time for what's going on with, bashing people here, there, and the other. It just does my head.
What is there anybody that is proficient in the Bible?
Which Bible? Which Bible? The world.
Well, okay, the one that states that corruption will get so bad that we no longer see the truth or can see the truth because everything is such a lie.
It's obvious. Like when you mention the Bible, my brain, the way it works, like I'm thinking, worldwide cultures.
I don't recognize that, though. I don't recognize that, Penny.
I don't recognize it, but it's like I'm still away from it.
Are you talking about they'll throw pearls to swine and their money won't be worth anything? The coins they'll throw in the street. Are you talking about some of that?
No, I think it's in the
Old Testament?
New Testament under the what are we in right now? The end of times. What the hell is it called? That's in the Bible.
Revelation?
Yeah, Revelations. It's in Revelations that Satan's seed will corrupt through the entire world, and through this corruption, no one will be able to know truth.
Huh. I don't know. I'll look at my
lies.
Yeah, it's like I'm having
I don't even know why I know that, but yeah, it's in Revelation.
I wasn't even sorry, Penny. It's like on my end, you're going like in and out.
Yeah, at the end of the month, I'm going to get another headset because, my dogs chewed my good headset, and I bought this one from Walmart, and it's a piece of crap, and it cost me the same fucking amount of money.
Aww.
Wow. So, listen, guys, I'm going to go. It's 1:33 a.m., so I'm really glad that I made it this far. I was just saying this morning, I've got to stay up for one of these after shows.
Thank you for hanging out with us.
Yeah, good night, Ann.
Yeah, Ann, we love you. Yeah.
Love having you.
Take care. Bye. Seeing you.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, Ann.
Bye.
Yeah, there's some shit. I'm telling y'all right now. We're going to be seeing this thing through. Whatever's.
It just
through, man. You just got to fucking take every moment at a time, literally right now.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
It just hit me. Sorry to interrupt. When you mentioned the Bibles of the world, part of the narrative, as far as I'm concerned, it just hit me. That's just part of the narrative. All these Bibles and religious stuff.
Well, they're going to be bringing in the narrative because you got all these people that believe in that narrative. Okay.
Unfortunately, yeah, exactly. You're right.
It's all about that manifestation of their narrative, whatever narrative, because they've got everything coded to do the same things, right? So basically.
Oh yeah, but it is so biblical right now, guys, and come on, I am not religious at all.
They wrote it like that. That's what they wrote it like that. So that we're manifesting what they've written.
Yeah, exactly.
Or it appears that we are.
Thank you.
That's better.
Yeah.
You nailed it, Jane. Yes.
It appears, but not all of us are,
right.
Not all of us are going that route, I mean, I don't, if Bros has it right, then all the spirited beings are out of here. If the other one's right, then we're dividing again. Some of us will walk out of this realm, without a doubt, because they have to give up a portion. It's just the way it goes in the system itself. It's just the portion was small. That's why you see all these groups around the planet over the ages have disappeared.
Yeah.
Because they got to walk out.
Okay. Okay, so this is going to be in the videos?
Some of it will be. Yeah, if you go through all her stuff, she goes through all this stuff.
Okay, yeah, because these civilizations that just disappear.
Yeah, they got to walk out.
Good. I hope I get to walk out.
Yeah, they have to give up at least. That's what part of the imbalance was here. It's just when the dark ones came in and kind of took over everything. You're lucky if 10% got out of here. But they had to let something go to keep the system going.
Who are we? Who are we then? You think?
We're the same. We're the same beings over here in the day.
There, that's where I'm going.
We're the
Yeah.
same beings over here.
Yep.
We're
Yep.
now.
That's right. That's right. Yep. Huh.
We're the same
But
beings.
that ties into so much of that, like I thought about way back, that amnesiac step.
Yep. That's right.
I can remember thinking that way back, and it's stuck in my head.
Yep. Because we come here with a mind swipe, I suppose.
It's all that makes sense to me. What you just said, the mind wipe, the erasing of the collective memory and the individual
The only way they get away with it.
memory fields.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because if we knew the truth, we could unmanifest them just like that.
Right. Well, you know, I'm call me optimistic, but I got my cards on, or my money, my money's on good shit's gonna, we might go through some, but I don't know. I just sense that, we're gonna go through some trials and tribulations, but
It's gonna get bumpy.
yeah.
It will, but
Well, any change is. Any change.
You got to stand in who you are. You know, that can never change as far as what your truth is. I mean, as far as you can make it better, but you know, you got to own that every day. It doesn't matter what goes on around you.
That's right.
Yep, you have to stay in your integrity. I like the way Laura Eisenhower put it, like a spiritual integrity. And I mean, just use that word spiritual because she said it, and it's like,
just be careful with her.
Being true to yourself and treating others like you want to be treated. That should be common sense, but it's kind of been, how that went. Kind of disappeared.
You got to remember, all the dark ones that play that game, in this movement, they all say that. See, the thing is, I would say most of the people in this movement have not, they're waking up and they want to know information, but they don't got that center point guiding them. So they're caught in the David Wilcock, caught in the Corey.
Oh, God.
See what I mean? It's like, and they are prime targets. Because that makes, you wouldn't be there.
Yeah. Because they jumped from the church into David Wilcock's seat.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
Pocket. Yeah. Or whatever. Yeah. Yeah.
So they know the ones.
Yep.
Like, I would never walk into, contact in the desert or any of that bullshit.
Right.
No way. Because I know energetically that's a trap. So it's like, there are people that
I've just never been drawn to that stuff. I've listened to what's his name? Contact in the Desert. What's his name?
I forget.
You talk about the guy with the goatee and
yeah.
Every now and then.
Lance White? Is it Lance White?
No. Nope.
I've been through all this shit for so many years now, and I've seen a lot of things.
I have too. Yep.
I just, it just boils down to.
But for me, it started in childhood, and I've always been on this constant. It's like a friggin' ladder. You're climbing. I never really stayed with, some of these things that I've gone through, like the church and I've been around psychics. I've been to psychics. I've had been friends with tarot card readers, and but it's like each one of those things was just a step, another step. And while you continue to shred or shed, your beliefs and your masks and your outward until. You keep growing and you keep seeking deeper and deeper and deeper. And so a lot of these things just never attracted me to hold me, because I didn't need it. You know, listen for a little bit and then move on. But some people get stuck in it and they buy it hook, line, and sinker.
Yes.
Until they get enough of that, and then they'll move on to, you know, the next thing, whatever. But not that that's all bad, as long as a person keeps moving forward.
That's what I did.
That's a good point. Yeah, moving forward. But you two
That's what I did.
Yeah, what you two are talking about is I wasn't programmable with that religious stuff either. Completely. It's like I something happened at probably around like 13. Something triggered. Yeah, so I quit going to any church at all. And when I was going anyways, I was like living with some kid who was there. I was kind of going along with it. Obviously, I didn't really want to be there. And
yeah, I got very involved in church. I was very involved. So
was I.
I don't know if y'all heard of Beth Moore, but she's out of Houston here, and she's a renowned Bible study teacher that travels around, and I was one of her girls, basically. And I was like Randy Moggins, except for Randy Moggins was actually more than me. He was a step more than me, but so very, very into that. There was never
Randy, I'm sorry, Dawn, you said Randy Moggins is what? He's very into what?
He comes from the religion background. He
okay.
was an actual pastor, I believe, and he can actually marry people. But yeah, his whole background is that, and he jumped ship.
I just knew he was Irish because of his last name, probably because the way he's talked. Yeah.
Yeah, Randy's he's very smart when it comes to relating biblical with everyday. One of the things I love about him is that I can connect with him in that way because it's not a stretch for me. I don't get turned off by it because I come from that background. So I can look at it straight up and not get, turned sideways.
Yep. I used to open before the pastor would take the podium on Sunday morning in our local Baptist church. And I was part-time secretary at the church. But before I settled back into the Baptist church, for a while there, I was in a non-denomination, church where filled with the Holy Spirit and speaking in tongues, laying hands on,
talking in tongues.
Yeah. I was on Channel 40, which is a big Christian TV station in Indiana. They're out of Noblesville. They record out of Noblesville, but their church is actually in Fort Wayne. But I was on there and sang and gave my testimony and did all that and gave an altar call. I sang music for altar calls. So I was pretty heavy in it too. And I was a Bible student for a while, but our Bible school it wasn't very successful, so we gave that up.
Yeah, I was trying to get clean, so I gave my testimony in church about smoking crack and the whole 9 yards. And,
oh wow!
Like they called me a VIP, a victor in progress.
Wow.
And I ran. I did the whole gamut, girl. I went up there. I just had my ass kicked, been raped, left for dead on the side of the street. I didn't have no hair. They cut off all my hair. I'd been beat to shit. I got up in front of a whole friggin' church and gave my testimony in a wig.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, I've been through a lot.
Oh
I've been through so much shit. And that was just part of the stepping stones, though. But see, it never, ever took away what was happening to me. That's why it was never enough.
In other words, you mean it never ever took away what was happening to you, meaning you were growing spiritual on the inside.
I was, but I was still dealing with my addiction. It wasn't dealing with the problem.
I see. Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay.
As much as they wanted to help me, it wasn't cutting it. So, if it was truth, it would have cut through that. See? That's how you know truth. Truth cuts right through the bullshit. truth gets right. Nobody said truth was going to be fun, easy, any of that. But truth gets to the core.
And it's painful if you're not.
But see, that was watered down bullshit truth. How could it ever? How could that have ever worked? It couldn't. Because I'm an authentic being that it wasn't going to take.
Yeah.
Was
Okay,
it?
I hear you. Yep.
You know.
Yep. Yeah.
It's all a fucking lie. All that religion, relying on the jinn. That's all you're doing. Religion, relying on the jinn. They are running your fucking show, dude.
It just hit me that last part, jinn. What is to be jinn in the first place? Spirit.
Relying on the jinn.
It just hit me that last part.
That's creepy, isn't it?
Whoever designed those religious stuff, fucking super smart.
Well,
it's like Maury. It's like even Maury said they're smarter than we are.
Well, they're the fallen beings that embodied this realm. Of course, they're smart. You know.
Right.
Yeah, but they're not smarter than us. They're just smarter in a different way.
Well, exactly right. They had to fucking capture us, basically, and mind wipe us to get us even in here. So what does that say?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I kind of.
That tells you right there, and then we're still waking up.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they have that. They have that edge.
What are they gonna do?
Well, you know, guys, we're carrying people. We're carrying beings. We care. And so, yes, it would be easy to capture us and corrupt us because you know what? All they'd have to do is fucking pretend they're sick. And guess what? We're right there to help them.
I told you. Lisa got it right.
That's not a bad thing.
There's one thing that Lisa got right, in my opinion, Lisa Harrison. And that is when she was speaking about how we were in the beginning and how we did not know fear, we did not know pain, we didn't know any of these type of things, these lower shit. So when our realm was invaded, then all of a sudden we were feeling, you know, we didn't understand. We were like babes. We didn't understand any of it. Of course they could trick us. You know, I mean, we were minding our own business, basically, doing our own thing.
Well, yeah, we were up against, and pardon the word, it's the only one that describes it. We were up against evil for the first time.
Well, there were beings in our realm that became jealous of the kind of beings we are, because we are direct sparks of the source, of the one. We are mirrors of him, of it. We were the highest in creation as far as at that time. And there were other beings that didn't like that very much. Okay? And they became jealous. And that's how this all happened.
Well, there again, like I said,
how I feel. I mean, I feel that we got sold out from the inside to the beings, to the underworld beings. That's how.
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I was saying there is truth in the Bible.
Oh yeah.
The problem is it's just not written right.
It's not written right.
Very misunderstood.
Yeah. No. We got sold out, dude. We got sold out from the inside.
No, my parents raised me up in the Baptist church. I mean, I think I was born on a Tuesday and I went to church the following Sunday. And I went to Sunday school every single Sunday. But they were never able to really brainwash me. And I used to get in trouble for always questioning the crap my Sunday school teacher was telling me. You know, like they said, okay, so anyone who doesn't believe like we do is going to hell and going to burn. In one statement, they say, God's your loving father. And then the next statement, they say, anyone who screws up, is going to go to hell and burn for eternity. And I'm like, I said, well, what about the children whose parents brought them up in another religion and they don't know anything about this? They're going to burn in hell. You know, I couldn't get my mind about that. I was like 7 years old. And so then my Sunday school teacher, her answer was, well, the truth will be preached in all the inhabited world before that happens, so they'll have an opportunity. But to me, it was like, that's no opportunity. Just because some stranger comes and tells you something different, if your parents have raised you in this particular belief your whole life, you're not just going to up and believe what someone else says is the truth. You know, and then the Bible appalled me. I mean, like the story of Abraham. You know, I don't know what was more horrifying, that a loving God would ask someone to kill their own child, or that he was gonna fucking do it.
Or ask his daughters to lay with their father. You know, come on.
Well,
Revelation is scary.
It's the bipolar God. He's
right.
He's sick, dude, and then he wants you to fucking put the animals up there and fucking kill them, and you know how animals.
You know how much blood is in. I mean, how much actual blood is in that Bible?
Oh
It's
yeah.
as bad
you
as
know what?
the
But that
blood
was
on this earth be due to the slaughter of all these animals. Oh my God.
You know, that was another area where I questioned, because, okay, God wanted a sacrifice and Cain brought him the fruits of his labor. You know, I mean, it was fruit, but he toiled over the soil. But no, it wasn't good enough. It had to be fucking blood. I mean, that was appalling too.
Yep. And then when you think about the New Testament, where God doesn't seem so bad, but yet his only begotten son is hanging on a tree with nails.
Yeah, who made that fucking rule, though? Who made that fucking rule? Who demanded that?
I'm just saying the blood sacrifice continues.
Oh yeah, that's what I tell my sister. Yeah. I'm like, you go into church and they wanted you to drink the wine and eat the. I said, you're acting like a fucking reptilian.
Oh yes.
You're doing exactly.
Drink the blood of Christ. Drink and eat his flesh.
Eat them. You're acting out like the reptilian overlords. What they do.
They are cold-blooded. I mean, hence the term cold-blooded.
You know, if you talk to, like, you know, dyed in the blood Christians, and they're like, well, God gave his only son to us. And I'm like, who demanded that he do that? You know, that's ridiculous. Yeah. He's the one that.
Well, you gotta,
stupid. I don't know what.
He plays
around it.
He's got it where the metal God has it to where he plays the good and the bad. He's both sides.
It's fucked up.
And that represents this place, though. The black and white checker squares. This is duality. And even this metal God has a high side to him and the low. Like different beings, like Callie. You know, Callie's got the very high side, beautiful side, and the very destructive side. Everything's two-sided here.
Yeah.
Whichever one you want to focus in on, like, I quit fighting this metal God. I don't want to deal with the sick ass side of him. Yeah. I choose to deal with the higher side of him. The one that I met a long, long time ago. The one that was before the fall. So I choose to start putting my energies in on the high side of things.
Isn't it interesting that we were set up from the very beginning, if we reflect on the forbidden fruit, if you will?
Well, that's the knowledge of good and evil. That's
so I'm saying, that's my point.
But we didn't choose this. We didn't choose this. I don't believe that.
But it's like, you know, and then later he says, my people perish for lack of knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? Right. But so I'm saying, my point here is, I think, is that we were set up from the very beginning. You know, don't search for truth, you know?
Yeah.
Don't eat this fruit. It's the fruit of knowledge. That's what it says. Do
Well,
not eat the apple. You know, it's the fruit of knowledge.
Well,
You
they
just said some
don't.
key
They're
words there
putting it on
too.
us. See, they're putting it on us. What happened?
I know. I'm
It's
just
bullshit.
saying.
They're putting it on the divine feminine, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it's all.
Always. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
read between the lines there on what they're fucking saying.
You said two key things. There was like truth and the other thing you said, Jane. Yeah, the other word that is truth and something. Yeah, it's like or facts, or it was like, yeah, it's kind of funny. Like people are born, come out of the womb, and then you're bombarded with, or with what is allegedly facts or truth with religion and stuff in the Bible or whatever the system is throwing at them, plus the people who made them. And it's like
It's all programming.
and it's like, yeah, exactly. And it's like just because you had that forced on you when you were little doesn't mean it's the truth.
Yeah.
Right.
The fact either. It's just,
You don't know any better. You don't
Right. Most
Yeah.
don't get to
Right,
that
but
point. Most don't
yeah,
get
but you
to
know
yeah, the
what?
mind wipe, all that mind wipe
I
erasing, and you come in with a clean slate. It's like a,
That's the only. Hey,
it's like
that's
a blank. It's like a blank hard drive.
Yeah, but that, like I tell everybody, you know, flat out, not a fucking person knows why they're here, and not a fucking person knows who the fuck they are. And that ought to be your two biggest red flags ever.
very true. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right there.
Well, I have two sisters, and my middle sister, the sweetest, most loving person that you could ever meet. Oh my God. She's 55 years old, and she just in the past few years has adopted two children, one of which is 5, and the other one just turned 2. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But that's the same thing that my mother did. But she is still so trapped in that. I mean, they go to church every Sunday, just a Baptist church, just totally believing that. My other sister married a Catholic, but she's not really practicing or anything. But they are appalled at me when I'm like, it's all bullshit. And, I just feel lucky that I somehow managed to escape that trap. But I was in it for a long time. And what got me out of it was when I wanted to get married to my husband, who I'm still married to after 38 years. Dawn has met him, it's been great. But so I had to wait until I was 18. We met when I was 16. Anyway, went to my mother-in-law, or at that time, soon to be mother-in-law, went to the Baptist preacher to ask him to perform our wedding ceremony. And he told her, now we lived in a little bitty town, Beat Eyes, Texas. I don't know if even Dawn knows Beat Eyes, Texas, but we were too small for even a school. So we had to go to school in the neighboring town, which was actually even a different county. But anyway, he told her that he couldn't do it because he had a prior engagement. And so she came to me and she told me that. I'm like, prior engagement? Jesus, we live in Beat Eyes. Well, there were 3 couples that I know personally, my husband's brother and his wife, and a couple of other friends of ours who had also asked the Baptist preacher to marry them and was turned down with the claim of prior engagement, which is that many times is impossible in that small town. So I went to him after she told me that. I went to him and I'm like, look, what is the real reason that you don't want to do this? Because you didn't do it for Mark and Riri, and you didn't do it for Clyde and Francis. What's the deal? And so because my husband and I had already moved in together and we were living in sin, he couldn't perform our wedding ceremony. And I was like, well, you know what? I will get married by the justice of the peace, just like these other people did, just like Mark and Riri and Clyde and Francis did. And he goes, well, if you do that, the church will not recognize your marriage. And I'm like, I don't give a fat rat's ass what the church recognizes. And I've never been to church since then.
Yeah, right on.
Gosh. Oh, my platypus.
you think about it, like, how in the fuck did they get away with this for so fucking long when you know damn well every single one of us here knew something was wrong with this place when we were kids.
Yeah, but it's beat out of you. It's beat and programmed out of you when you're a kid. You know, people.
I mean, I have memories of going, what is, like feeling like a fish out of water here, man. Like, what is up?
Well,
oh hell, they tried to beat it out of me, Dawn. I mean, they beat it out of me, and it still didn't work.
I'm just saying, we knew, we innately knew, but we didn't know. So our spirit knew, but our conscious didn't, or like our subconscious knew, but our conscious did not know. But our spirits are so strong, some of us here, that
resilient.
Yeah, it's inevitable.
Yep. I've always been a fish out of water. Always.
Me too.
But I'm a Leo.
So am I.
I know.
Some Leos here.
I'm Capricorn.
I have the same birthday as Lisa Harris.
Or I was Capricorn until they invented that new sign. What the fuck? I don't know what I am now.
I'm a Scorpio, but not anymore because I would be considered the whatever the fuck that is, and that's a.
I can't remember what they said. I've become. I've always been Capricorn. But supposedly, no, I'm in a different sign, not the new one, the Opus or whatever the heck.
Yeah.
But I can't remember which one I was supposedly knocked into.
What day were you born?
Focus, right?
December 26th. I have the secondest birthday in the world.
Yeah.
I was born in the latter. I was born in the latter stage of Virgo. I'm a Virgo.
Oh shit. My husband's a Virgo.
So they say that July 25th, the Mayans say that is considered the day out of time, and that it is the one day out of the year has no time. And both me and Lisa Harrison were born on July 25th.
Is that your birthday?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right on.
July 25th. Huh? Mine's September 17th.
Guess I'm the only Cancerian here at the moment.
Cancers are good.
You're the only Cancer, just like I'm the only Virgo, and some are the only Capricorn, and the other Penny, you just said you shit my brain.
I'm a Scorpio, and I think I'm the only Scorpio in here.
Scorpio, and Anna was.
I forget what Danny is.
I'm Capricorn. I don't care if they say I'm Sagittarius now. I've been Capricorn my whole life. I'm not switching. They can do whatever they want with that bullshit.
Oh, exactly. I'm a Scorpio.
Tell them they can pop their Capricorn.
Most get Scorpio too. So there's two Scorpios in here now. Right on.
Rebecca's a Leo. Who else is a Leo? Anybody else? Anna, are you a Leo?
No, I'm Capricorn.
Oh, you're Capricorn. That's right. Yeah, I forget what Danny is. I think she's a Leo.
My son was a Leo.
Yeah. My mom was a Leo, too.
He was supposed to be a Virgo, but he got here early. But yeah.
All right, you guys. Well, I'm going to go get in the bathtub now.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go, too.
Yeah.
It's
night,
been great.
You guys have an excellent night. Love y'all.
Good night, you all who are going.
Good night, everyone.
I'm going 2-star, so you can shut it down if you want. Or you know, there's still
yeah, I have to go.
I'm working on it. I was just typing something.
I love all of you.
I love you all.
Love you.
Love ya.
Bye, everyone.
Night.
Bye-bye.
I don't know how to leave again. I can't find I'm stuck here with you two because I can't find the leave button. Oh well, I'm outside smoking on my little mouse. What the? And my little mouse does not work. You know, the one that's like the pad on the computer. The fuck?
Let's see. Where's the feed?
Oh, I found it. Bye, guys. I love you.
Night.
Hi, Anna. Love you.
Good night.
Yep. Love everybody. Good night.